Mickey Gray picking the Manchester United team there whilst chatting with Erik ten Hag. Well, either that or you're a soothsayer, because he's in.
Well, Dan, you talk about big nights for players in a Manchester United shirt. Well, it doesn't get any bigger for Anthony tonight. I was looking at his stats before. Look, he's played 83 games for Manchester United, whether it's from the bench or starting. His stats aren't good enough. 11 goals and 5 assists. You need more than that for an £82 million player. And I think this is a big stage for him tonight. He's got to prove to everybody he's good enough.
Big old night of football across the Talksport network. You've already heard Aston Villa walloping young boys of Bern in Switzerland by 3-0 on their return to the Champions League. Just getting underway over on Talksport. Milan against Liverpool, also in the Champions League. I'll keep you updated on all the goals going in elsewhere tonight. The teams are just making their way out onto the Old Trafford pitch here, led by referee Gavin Ward. Manchester United in their traditional red, white and black. Barnsley will be in their change strip of a sort of an off-grey number, I think I would say, if I was trying to pick a colour. And they're just lining up in front of us, in front of our commentary position, midway up the Bobby Charlton stand, with the east stand to our right, the Stretford end to our left, and in the southeast corner to our right there's about 6,500 Barnsley fans who have travelled across the Pennines to cheer on their heroes this evening. So just to update you, there's other League Cup ties getting underway. Stoke and Fleetwood have been underway for about half an hour. That's 0-0. Stoke without a manager, of course, with Stephen Schumacher dismissed at the weekend. Blackpool Sheffield Wednesday is 12 minutes in. That's goalless. Steve Bruce taking on his former side that he managed. Brentford 0, Leyton Orient 1 is the latest score at the G-Tech. And Brandon Cooper has given Leyton Orient the lead at Brentford. They've not started the season winning the league, Orient, but that's potentially a huge scalp in that London derby. Everton Southampton 0-0 in the All Premier League tie. Preston Fulham, that's also 0-0, and QPR Palace goalless. All those games getting underway at 7:45. Meanwhile, in the EFL Trophy, Stockport 2-0 up on Everton's Academy. Bradford 1-0 up at Mansfield. These are all in the Northern Group. Walsall 0, Fulham 0. Wickham at half-time, a 4-1 up on Brighton's Academy. Charlton 2-1 up at Cambridge. Colchester and MK Dons 0-0. Newport and West Ham 0-0 at half-time. And in the Champions League early kick-offs, not just that 3-0 win for Villa, but also a 3-1 win at home for Juventus against PSV Eindhoven. Marcus Rashford and Luca Connell are sorting out the coin toss. Oh, it's Casemiro, not Marcus Rashford. It was a 10, but it's 18 on the back of that shirt. And let me run you through the lineups once again. For Manchester United, Bayindir in goal, his first appearance at Old Trafford as Manchester United keeper. Dalot, Maguire, Casemiro, Evans at the back, Ugarte making his full debut, and Collier, along with Anthony, Eriksson and Garnacho in midfield. Rashford up top. For Barnsley, Slonina the keeper, De Giovinny, Roberts and Earl as a back three, Cotter and O'Keefe the wing backs, Phillips, Jorgenathan and Connell in midfield, Waters supporting Jallo up front, and it is Barnsley who will get us underway, and they will be kicking from right to left as we look in their light grey change strip, and they'll be kicking towards the Stretford end in the first half. Manchester United in their traditional home colours of red shirts, white shorts, black socks. Darryl Clark, tracksuit manager, stood right at the edge of his technical area, wearing a very natty pair of old Adidas style trainer football boots.
Best boots ever made, Dan.
Other boots are available, but Mickey Gray, I'll take his
Copa Mundials.
That's what I was trying to think of. Barnsley get us underway, and it's immediately whacked downfield by Josh Earl, looking to get Barnsley away down the right-hand side, and Adam Phillips making his 100th Barnsley appearance, gets to the corner flag, whips a cross in, Johnny Evans gets it away, Garnacho guides it back to the Northern Irish veteran. It's won back by Barnsley, right-hand corner of the box, but Cotter can't keep possession, but Manchester United are dispossessed. It's worked back to Josh Earl in the centre circle. Clipped out to the left-hand side, to the right-hand side. Lovely little dummy allowing Cotter to have a run at Collier. Gets to the byline, pulls it into the no post, and Bayindir claims quite comfortably for Manchester United. 0-0 inside the first minute. And I do wonder, Mickey Gray, whether Manchester United are indeed, as we were talking about, with some friends of ours in the press box, they're playing a back three tonight.
Well, the way it looks at the moment, Dance, and I saw it straight away, was Collier seemed to be playing over on that left-hand side, is kind of a left-back, left wing-back, if you like, but it is 3 centre-halves with Dalot tucking in on this right-hand side. It'd be interesting to see how that plays out and how Manchester United can actually get the ball through midfield and get Garnacho and Anthony involved in the game, because they need to quicken this game, because that's where the outlet is and that's where the pace is.
Yep, it is definitely Dalot, Maguire, Evans, right to left in that three. Collier pushing just beyond them into a left-back position. So Casemiro and Eriksen and Ugarte in that midfield. It's almost 3-4-3 really, with Anthony and Garnacho right and left and Rashford through the middle. Barnsley have a throw. They're definitely 3-2. Throw is taken on the right hand side by Maël de Givigny, the French centre-half, trying to drill the ball from right to left to pick out Corey O'Keefe, who I remember coming through the Birmingham City Academy. Came to note when he went to Forest Green Rovers a couple of years ago. Now he's a Barnsley player. They would love to be picking Davis Keeler-Dunn for this game tonight, Barnsley, after his summer arrival from Mansfield, but he's cup-tied. Already played in his competition this season for his previous club, so he has to sit this one out. Here is Garnacho playing a 1-2 with Casemiro, but it doesn't come off for Manchester United. Barnsley have possession on the halfway line, tucked back by Luca Connell to Josh Earl, and now O'Keefe on this near side, right in front of the two technical areas where both managers are standing looking on. Earl forced to go back to his keeper, and it's Gabriel Slonina on loan from Chelsea, who has the ball at his feet, clears it downfield. O'Keefe with a poor touch allows Eriksen to win it back, and Earl and O'Keefe slides in ahead of Casemiro and actually wins a throw for Barnsley in their left back position midway point of the half, right down in front of our commentary position, 0-0.
Well, he's done really well, Corey O'Keefe, been on the ball on a couple of occasions, just sharper and brighter to the ball there than Casemiro, who I talked about him needing a bright start in this game. He's given the ball away once, trying to play it out to that left-hand side to Garnacho, didn't get enough pace on it, and mistimed his challenge.
QPR 0, Crystal Palace 1 in the League Cup. Eddie Nketiah, is that his first goal for his new club? They lead at Loftus Road. Now Cotter gets taken out by Collier, almost at the right-hand corner of the penalty area, and a chance here for Barnsley to swing a free kick into the United box at the Stretford end, 0-0.
Well, it's one of those challenges, isn't it, from Collier there. He's gone with his wrong foot, his right foot. He should have really been sweeping that ball away with his left foot, but because he's over on that left-hand side, he's just trying to play to his strengths, just timed it wrong, and this is a very good opportunity for Barnsley.
Collier joined from the Brighton Academy a couple of years ago. Well, Cotter and Phillips are the two Barnsley players on that far side standing over this free kick. United holding their line about level with a penalty spot, and it's pretty much man-to-man marking, not too much zonal. Yoganathan just holding himself back at the edge of the D, the Sri Lankan midfielder. In it comes from Cotter, headed on at the far post and flicked away, comes out to this near side, and Barnsley wanted to go out because they want a corner, which they've won. Down at the corner where the Stretford meets the Bobby Charlton, 0-0.
Well, I've got to say, Dance, you talk about set pieces being important. It's a great ball into the area, and that line of Manchester United, nobody knew who was going to clear it, and that little flick on, wow.
Short corner, O'Keefe works it deep to the far post. Bayendir punches with both fists, but there was a push on a United player in the box, and so it is a free kick to the hosts. Brentford have equalised in the League Cup against League One Leyton Orient. Fabio Carvalho makes it 1-1 at the GTEC Stadium. Terrific player, went missing a bit at Liverpool. I think he's got the right club in Brentford. For what my opinion is.
Well, he'll get his opportunities there, Danson. If you give him a 1v1 opportunity, he knows where the back of the net is. I just remember his time at Fulham.
Outstanding.
Oh, he set it alight in the Championship one season, and that's who we want to see every single week. He's a top player.
AC Milan 1, Liverpool 0 in the Champions League. Christian Pulisic, once of Chelsea, has given Milan the lead. That's live on Talksport right now with Jim Proudfoot and Scott Minto. 0-0 here in the League Cup at Old Trafford. Anthony coming forward for the host. Eriksen swings it out left to Garnacho. Collier going ahead of him down the left-hand side of the box, but Garnacho just lays it backwards to square to Ugarte on his full debut. Casemiro and Ericsson. United just knocking the ball back towards halfway, sort of being goaded by the Barnsley fans in the southeast corner. So all right that they didn't go for it with that counter-attack.
Yeah, you want to see them counter, because that's what they are, Manchester United. They are a counter-attacking side. I thought Anthony had the chance there in a 1v1 just to test out his full-back, to see if he was quicker than him, if he had the quality to beat him. Also, another interesting thing, Dance, is how's Marcus Rashford going to adapt to playing through the middle yet again? Because we know it's not his favourite position, but he's got to try and find that space and the pace to run in behind, because we know he's got the quality to do it, and certainly after scoring his first goal in 12.
Yeah, he needed that against Southampton without question. Everton lead Southampton in that all-Premier League tie in the League Cup. Abdoulaye Doucouré makes it 1-0 to Everton at Goodison Park. Here's Anthony for United, looking for Rashford, but the ball just drifted away from him, and Joganathan tucks it in field to Luca Connell, who's caught by Casemiro. Not strong challenges coming in from the United defensive midfielders early on. And it's a quickly taken free kick by Earl out to the Barnsley right, but Barry Cotter can't get past Collier, and it's tucked back to Altay by India, the Manchester United goal. Just one appearance before tonight, that was in the FA Cup at Newport, the former Fenerbahce keeper. Big night for him.
Yes, no, absolutely, and we talked about it, didn't we, before the game, and I think it is a big opportunity for certain individual players who've had to bide their time and wait for their opportunity. I'm looking at probably one of the most experienced players on that field, Dance. Casemiro's made 2 really rash challenges, and he's got to be very careful. You can say he's rusty a little bit maybe over the last couple of weeks, but he should be at it more than pretty much anybody out there.
He's certainly got a point to prove. 7 minutes gone on Talksport 2. 0-0 between Manchester United and Barnsley in this third round Carabao Cup tie. These ties been split across 2 weeks worth of fixtures, same as the Champions League and Europa League. Maguire has to knock it back to Dalot in the right back position. Jallo, his compatriot, comes to close him down. Dalot, good ball in field, and Ugarte can dart forward towards the halfway line. In support, Johnny Evans, 36 years young, makes good progress into the Barnsley half down the left hand side. Then it's taken up by Garnacho. Infield to Ugarte once more. Now Anthony, who's come infield to the centre of the half, has to give it back to the Uruguayan Ugarte. Now Dalot takes over. Ugarte once more out to the left wing, and they're just trying to find that little gap to thread the ball through. Again, United have to go back to the halfway line and Harry Maguire. Bradford 2-0 upon Mansfield in the EFL Trophy. Bobby Poynton for Bradford. Garnacho down the left-hand side. Finds Rashford, who's out there. Ericsson's almost playing as a false 9 at the moment in this move. Dalot, inside right channel. Ericsson now tucks it out to Anthony on the right wing, level with the edge of the area. Faced up by Earl, knocks it back to Casemiro. First time crossing, and it's cleared by Mark Roberts, but it actually hit Ericsson in the back and ricocheted out away to our right for a goal kick to Barnsley. 0-0 after 9 minutes on Talksport 2. Here's Mickey Gray.
Well, it's been a bright start, hasn't it? I think Manchester United can get their wide players involved in the game a lot quicker, there's no doubt about that. I think they're trying to play through them narrow, and they can't do that because you need to play with width.
Here's Joganathan, who scored twice for Barnsley against Manchester United youngsters in the EFL Trophy game earlier this season. Trying to get involved again just inside the box, but Casemiro back there defending. Anthony just coolly lobs the ball over Connell, and Ericsson tries to fire it downfield for Garnacho, but that's comfortably intercepted by De Gevigny, who sweeps it out to the left-hand side for the Tykes. And Corey O'Keefe tries to tease it down the left-hand touchline, seeing the run of Watters, but Manchester United win it back, and it's with Casemiro just shy of the halfway line. Spots Garnacho in a bit of space out on the left-hand touchline. Chance for him to run at De Gevigny, and Garnacho will have a run at him. Gets to level with the edge of the area, plays it across the 18-yard line and over from Ericsson. Now Rashford takes it out to the right-hand corner of the area, faced up by O'Keefe. Lovely twinkle toes from Rashford, not once but twice, and the shot is blocked behind by Mark Roberts for Manchester United's first corner of the game down at the East Stand end. 10 minutes gone, 0-0.
Yeah, good play from United. Marcus Rashford there making something out of nothing. When he picked up that ball, he had his back to play, he got turned, he tried the little nutmeg, it came off for him, but he has to just try and get his shot away, use his pace, use his confidence from the weekend and try and add to those goals.
Well, Erik ten Hag's having a right old conflab with how Manchester United should be set up at this corner, and he's actually telling Collier to go back to halfway, because Barnsley have got 2 men stationed on the halfway, and now they're having to send 3 defenders back, United, to counteract that. So Darrell Clarke is making Erik ten Hag think with these set pieces.
Well, I'd like to see it. You've got to keep them thinking, Manchester United, because they've had a bright start, Barnsley.
Eriksson will take the corner, drills it deep to the far post, headed down towards the keeper, who has to half clear it. Rashford gets a shot in, deflected, and another shot that's deflected by Roberts, and it comes out to the edge of the centre circle where Dalot sends it back out to this near side, the right, and Eriksson. Ugarte gives it back to the Dane, floats a lovely ball out to Garnacho left hand side, but by keeping it in play with a cushion header, he gave it straight to Cotter, but Cotter's ball downfield intended for Jallo, gobbled up quite comfortably by Toby Collier. Walsall 1, Fulham's under-21s 0 in the EFL trophy. Danny Johnson, who scored at the weekend, scores again for the Saddlers. And Stockport 3, Everton under-21s 0. Isaac Olafe for Stockport County had a very good start to the season at League One, and doing all right in the EFL trophy, it would seem. So we've played 12 minutes here on Talksport 2. We've got Milan-Liverpool over on Talksport right now. That's 1-0 to Milan at the moment. That early goal from Christian Pulisic. You can use your Talksport app and swipe between our 2 commentaries with ease. Jim Proudfoot and Scott Minto bringing the commentary from the San Siro. Diogo Dalot for Manchester United. Slightly lazy ball in field. It was intercepted partially by Jürgen Nathan, this tall, rangy central midfielder for Barnsley, but United get it back and calm things down, and it's Johnny Evans who'll stroke the ball out to Maguire just shy of the halfway line, standing right next to Erik ten Hag with his chinos and his gilet, looking on. How irritated is he in these press conferences of late, Mickey Gray? You go to them. How irritated is he getting at the line of questioning?
I think he's like every manager, Dan. If you've lost a game, it's always a little bit spiky, because somebody's always in the room and they want to ask that question that nobody else wants to ask. But he was fine on Thursday, I have to say, because he was obviously upbeat after the 3-0 win, and he wanted to talk about tonight's game pretty much.
Ball over the top from Dalot, trying to get Anthony in behind down the right hand side. O'Keefe has gone with him. The ball bounces awkwardly, means that Anthony can't really take the ball with him. Now Barnsley have got players behind the ball, but Anthony trying to go on the outside of O'Keefe. Great challenge, Corey O'Keefe, and then almost puts his stomach on the ball to stop Anthony getting possession back of the ball. It's cleared up to halfway. Neither Watters nor Maguire can win the header, and it drops down for Johnny Evans. Brentford 2, Leyton Orient 1. Brentford have turned it around in that cup tie. Mikael Damsgaard making it 2-1, and Wickham are 5-1 up on Brighton's youngsters. Bez Lubala, former Birmingham and Burton midfielder, gets his second of the night. Here is Collier for Manchester United, out to Anthony on this near side, the right. Dalot tucks it back in field for Collier. First time ball back to the halfway line, and Harry Maguire. Very much a 5-man defence when Barnsley don't have the ball. The wing backs, Mickey Gray, tuck in, don't they? Cotter and O'Keefe make it a genuine 5 at the back.
Well, Corey O'Keefe over on this left hand side, I think he started the game really brightly. He's working hard, he's helping out his 3 centre halves. He just made a brilliant challenge on Anthony, who I thought had skipped by him but showed great pace to get his foot, just hook the ball back to get his ball back possession, and I think they've started the game really well. They look very well organised.
It's a big night for Darrell Clarke, the Barnsley manager. Grew up in Mansfield, but he was a boyhood Manchester United fan, and here he is taking charge of a team at the Theatre of Dreams. Big night for him, but he looks on as United come forward. They were trying to get Ugarte at the edge of the area, but he just couldn't wriggle past a couple of challenges. Cotter on the far side runs into Casemiro, but United give up possession, and Luke O'Connell has a bit of space there. A long ball down the inside right channel, looking for Watters, but that's meat and drink for Johnny Evans, comfortably headed back. But again, there's a push on a Barnsley player, this time by Collier on Cotter, and the visitors have another free kick. We played a quarter of an hour on Talksport 2, and it's 0-0.
Well, Man United have got that problem that they've had, or they seem to have had for over a season now, Dan, where the balance of the team's not great.
Cotter will hit an early ball into the box, and it swerves through a couple of players. Watters didn't gamble, and if he had done, he might have got a touch on it. Jallo, left-hand side for Barnsley, gets to the byline, pulls it back, and it's half cleared by Maguire, out to this near side the right where Anthony guides it back for Dalot. Good combination play between Dalot and Anthony, and Manchester United calm things down as Casemiro floats it up to Eriksson. Eriksson, early ball out to Garnacho on the halfway line. Little run through the inside right channel by Rashford, picked up by a lovely ball. Rashford steps inside Roberts and fires Manchester United ahead. 2-2 for Marcus Rashford. Delightful finish after a little touch. Took him inside Mark Roberts inside the area, and he fairly clattered it past Selena to give Manchester United the lead and settle any early first half nerves at Old Trafford. 16 gone, Manchester United 1, Barnsley 0, Rashford with his second goal in as many games.
Well, it's just what Erik ten Hag wanted to see, it's just what Manchester United needed, and it's just what this stadium needed. Something to calm the nerves. It's fantastic play. Garnacho, I thought he should have actually had a run at his fullback, but take nothing away from that diagonal ball. I do think that Roberts has got to do better as a defender. He sells himself really. He's on the half turn as Marcus just turns inside him there. It's brilliant from Rashford. Take nothing away from him. But when he gets into that 18-yard box, you can't touch him. Laces through it. He gives Slonina absolutely no chance in that Barnsley goal.
Well, he hadn't scored since the FA Cup final, Marcus Rashford. But now he has 2-2, and maybe life just feels a little bit better for the Manchester United number 10. So 17 minutes gone, and Manchester United have the lead. Barnsley in possession, but Watters has the ball taken off his toe by Casemiro. Bayern Munich 1-0 up on Dinamo Zagreb in the Champions League. Serge Gnabry once of Arsenal giving the German side the lead. And Southampton are level at Everton in the cup tie at Goodison Park. Taylor Harwood-Bellis up from the back to make it Everton 1, Southampton 1.
I think they'll be a bit disappointed, Dan, in Barnsley. I think they've looked really organised, I have to say, and they're kind of pushing Manchester United into those narrow areas where you want Anthony going on the outside and Garnacho. But that diagonal ball from Garnacho, it's on a plate for Marcus. His first touch is outstanding, I have to say, and when he's running at you don't know which way he's going to go because he can finish with both feet. But I do think that Mark Roberts, he's just got to stand his ground, be a defender. He's tried to shepherd Marcus into his own 18-yard box, and that's when he messed up, and it made it easier for Marcus. Take nothing away because it was a wonderful finish from Rashford.
Now Anthony making a charge through the centre, but the ball will bounce high and skip away from him through to the arms of the keeper Gabriel Slonina, on loan from Chelsea at the League One side. So we played 18.5 minutes. That's goal number 133 in Manchester United colours for Marcus Rashford. Just over 400 appearances. But let's not forget, we shouldn't give him the goal every other game routine, because he's played so much of his career at this club in a wider position rather than as a genuine central striker. Here he is again, Rashford, laying it off to Eriksson, centre of the Barnsley half, finds Garnacho at the edge of the area, tries a curler, it's blocked by De Giovinazzi, and then Garnacho gives the ball up to Phillips, and then De Giovinazzi is caught by Ugarte as he just tried to drift away from him, and that's a free kick to Barnsley in their right wing back area. Wycombe 5, Brighton 2 in the EFL Trophy. Come back on maybe for Brighton youngsters. Marcus Highfield on 56 minutes. There's all sorts of staggered kick-off times tonight. Some of those EFL Trophy games are just reaching half-time, like Bradford 2-0 up at Mansfield, and some are still in the first half, like Colchester United MK Dons, where the Dons have just taken the lead through Stephen Wern. And that goal for Bayern Munich has actually been credited to Harry Kane now rather than Serge Gnabry.
Another one for Harry.
1-0 to the multiple European champions Bayern Munich. Manchester United have 6 League Cup trophies to their name. Erik ten Hag won the 6th of those 6. Went out last season to the team they beat in the final, Newcastle, in the 4th round. And they have a throw to contest with here because Barnsley have won it over on the far side on the right.
Well, you think about trophies that have kept probably Erik ten Hag in this job dance. I mean, the semi-final against Coventry, he was out the competition.
Is that why he mentions them so often?
Well, I think so. And then, I mean, the cup final last season against Manchester City saved his job.
There's an offside flag goes up against a Barnsley player, so free kick to United inside their own penalty area. We reached the 20-minute mark here on Talksport. Don't forget, later on tonight you'll be able to get your views in on the Sports Bar with Jermaine Pennant alongside Jason Cundy. That's from 10 o'clock tonight. 037 1722 3344. Lots of football to talk about tonight. Villa fans may be listening to this. Ring and sing about just how well your team have played on your return back to the Champions League in memory of the late great Gary Shaw. The 3-0 win at Young Boys that you just heard here on Talksport 2. And then Alan Brazil and Dean Saunders will be running the rule over all of tonight's action on the Sports Breakfast tomorrow from 6 a.m. Garnacho for United, left hand side, level with the edge of the Barnsley box, faced up by Cotter, rolls it back to Ugarte. Ugarte finds Casemiro infield, he gives it back to the Uruguayan. Dallo calling for it on this near side, might get it via Casemiro. He does indeed float it out to the Portuguese, but it was a difficult pass, controlled well by Diogo Dallo. Back to the halfway line. He won't be thanking Casemiro too much for the quality of that pass.
How's your hamstring?
Yeah, it was a bit of a ballet kick, like a go-go dancer, having to put the high kick in to bring the ball down.
Well, put it this way, Dance, if me or you tried that, I think we'll be on a stretcher by now.
Forget it. Let's not even go there. Blackpool 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1 in the Cup. Dishon Bernard putting Sheffield Wednesday ahead at Bloomfield Road. And Preston lead Premier League Fulham at Deepdale. Ryan Ledson for Paul Heckingbottom's Preston. They've only won one match in the league since Heck took over at Preston, but that's an impressive scoreline for the Championship side. Stockport now 4-0 up on Everton's under-21s in the Football League Trophy. Nick Powell, former Manchester United player, with the fourth for Stockport. Meanwhile, Barnsley have won a free kick here, midway point of the first half. They've taken it quickly out to Cotter on the right hand side, faced up by Garnacho, just drifts past him, drifts past Collier, who has a nibble at him, brings him down. Free kick to Barnsley right by the dead ball line, and only a few yards in for the corner flag, and our referee Gavin Ward just gives Toby Collier the calm it down, son, you're in the book next time signal. Well, 1-0 United.
Two challenges, Dance, that Collier's had to make there, and he's made them with his right foot. It's not down to him. Look, it's not a position that he's used to playing week in, week out. But if you're asked to play in a game like this and someone says play left back, you go, yes, of course I will. But he's being caught out by Cotter, who's got a lot of pace, and his quality, I have to say, from crossing into the box and his set pieces, so far they've been absolutely top draw.
He almost kicked him in the backside as he knocked Cotter to the ground with his right foot. It leads to this free kick, and, well, O'Keefe is completely unmarked at the edge of the D. There's a crowd of players around the 6-yard box, but Joganathan and O'Keefe are both completely unmarked at the edge of the area, not being watched by anybody. Maybe Anthony's keeping half an eye on them, and it is rolled back to Phillips, right hand corner of the area, goes for goal with an acrobatic half volley, got it all wrong, and it goes out of play for a Manchester United goal kick at the Stratford end away to our left. 24 minutes gone on Talksport 2. Manchester United 1, Barnsley 0. Here is Mickey Gray.
Yeah, I think he might have been better just laying that back off to Joganathan there, who was in a better position. I know he's probably his eyes have lit up in front of the Stretford end there. O'Keefe has that ball, but he didn't get his first touch right. He had to then volley it towards that Manchester United goal. Didn't really get over the top of it, but I've been impressed with the positions they're getting in, Dan. Certainly the two wing backs, Cotter on that right hand side, O'Keefe on this left hand side. They've got a lot of pace about them. It's going to be a busy night for them too.
A lot of pace about Diogo Dallo for the moment for United, but Barnsley win it back. Liverpool equalise over on Talksport in Milan. Ibrahima Konate makes it Milan 1, Liverpool 1. All square there in the San Siro. 1-0 to United here, and they're coming forward again with the goal scorer Rashford to the right hand corner of the penalty area. Got 2 or 3 Barnsley players around him. One of them was O'Keefe, who ran in and took it off his toe, put it out for what is a throw right by the corner flag on this right hand side for Dallo to send back into play. Has to go back towards the halfway line with this throw to find Casemiro. He tucks it into the feet of Ugarte. Brazil and Uruguay combining there in the United midfield. Back with Johnny Evans and across to Collier, being faced up by Jallo. So it's back with Johnny Evans once again. Maguire has to fire the ball back to Bayendir, the keeper, who's wearing all lavender, I would say, that goalkeeping strip is that Altay Bayındır is wearing tonight. Great night for him, as we mentioned. His first appearance for the first team at Old Trafford. O'Keefe wins the ball off Anthony on halfway. Ricochet takes the ball in field. Phillips looks for Yoganathan. Good skill from Yoganathan. Then he was caught by Ugarte, and the referee thinks about it and gives Barnsley the free kick a couple of seconds later. 1-0 to United.
Just a little bit away from being 100% fit, Dance, aren't they? I suppose Casemiro and Ugarte. Ugarte's only played, I was checking before the game, 2 full 90 minutes in his last 10 games, and that includes international football as well. So he's got to try and find that sharpness, that fitness, and this is the perfect game for him, but just a little bit short there.
So Earl will have the free kick for Barnsley. Stoke Fleetwood is 0-0 at half-time in the League Cup. Must have been a goal ruled out there. I thought it had been 1-0 to Fleetwood. Colchester 1, MK Dons 1 in the trophy. A penalty for Anthony Scully gets Colchester level at the job, sir. Barnsley's free kick is comfortably dealt with at the back by the hosts, but it's back with Josh Earl in the centre circle for Barnsley. Tries to play a long straight ball downfield, doesn't find its way through to Watters. Yoganathan falls to the deck and is robbed by Casemiro, and now United are away down the right with Rashford. Looks for Garnacho with a sweeping ball right to left, and that had to be made, that header by De Giovinazzi, and he did make it very well indeed. Kept the ball away from Garnacho and clears the ball downfield before Johnny Evans shoves Jallo in the back. And Barnsley have another free kick inside the United half, their own half this time. 27 gone, 1-0 Man United.
Yeah, a bit of a professional foul, that wasn't really from Johnny Evans. Knew there was danger in behind him, but great defending just before that. De Giovinazzi over on that right hand side, because it's a super crossfield pass for Marcus Rashford. If he gets that challenge wrong, Garnacho's in 1v1 with the goalkeeper. He has to throw himself up in the air just to get any contact, and he certainly did so.
We'll be across the city of Manchester at the Etihad tomorrow night on Talksport. Manchester City against Inter Milan is our Talksport commentary at 8 p.m. Meantime, I'll be at the Coventry Building Society Arena along with Dean Ashton for Coventry against Tottenham Hotspur in the Carabao Cup here on Talksport 2. That also is an 8 o'clock kickoff. And then Thursday, you've got a bit of a Champions League bonus, because there will be Thursday Champions League fixtures this season. Atalanta against Arsenal. Talksport, 8 o'clock. Hugh Rushcroft, Joe Shannon and Darren Bent. Never played for Arsenal, but he loves them. And he's on co-commentary. Mickey Gray was on schoolboy forms at Manchester United, we shouldn't forget.
Well, that's why I'm here tonight, Dan.
Yeah, long time ago.
I didn't play for them, but I'm here.
And he's looking on as Manchester United have a 1-0 lead as we approach the half-hour mark on Talksport 2. Marcus Rashford with 2 goals in 2 games then after his strike against Southampton on Saturday, followed up with the opener tonight. See Dean Whitehead down there on the Barnsley coaching staff, who's assisting Darryl Clark. They say he's your former teammate at Sunderland.
Well, he wasn't with me, Dan, at Sunderland, but he did a terrific job when he was there. I think he joined the club after I'd left, but yeah, good servant.
Ball forward from Yoganathan, asking Max Watters to give chase down the left-hand side, hooks it into play from right on the touchline, but Dalot has it back, gives it back to Bayındır. The keeper belts it downfield right into the centre circle. Mark Roberts with a strong header straight onto the chest of Maguire. Ugarte turns away from the attentions of Yoganathan. Good strong run from Manuel Ugarte, gets all the way over halfway before he's bundled over by Luca Connell, the Barnsley captain, and Ugarte gets a free kick. 1-0 United.
Yeah, well played, Ugarte. I love to see that, surrounded by 3 Barnsley players there. Showed his confidence to get on the half turn, but then showed that little change of pace. I don't think he was brought to Manchester United to marauding run 60 yards up the field. I thought he was brought to win the ball back, Dance, and play it off to the more quality players with a pace, but absolutely fantastic.
43 million should get you plenty.
I don't know what it gets you these days.
Balls with Casemiro. We are now at half an hour gone at Old Trafford. Manchester United 1, Barnsley 0 on Talksport 2. Evans hits a floated ball down the inside right channel. He was looking for Rashford, but come to be dealt with by Josh Earl, who finds Yoganathan, teases it out to this near touchline O'Keefe, plays it against Dalot. He's trying to win a throw-in, but Dalot kept it in play, and he will play a ball back to square to Eriksson. Rashford and Dalot. Few United subs go and warm up at the Stretford end, get a warm round of applause from those around the mouth of the tunnel. Here's Anthony on the right wing, up against Josh Earl, trying to jink his way into a bit of space. Dallo works it in field for Eriksson. Little ball from Casemiro into Dallo, pulls it back, surely 2-0, brilliant block by Barry Cotter, coming across the block. Rashford and Garnacho were in prime position, the ball was pulled back, Garnacho struck it goalwards, and well, 2 Barnsley players flew across and prevented a 2-0 scoreline.
Well, it's absolutely brilliant, isn't it? You talk about throwing your body on the line. I mean, it's a wonderful move from United initially, a little give and goes around the corner. He does look onside, Dallo, there, as it's played through. I think he's going to miss it, but he does, he gets there, and Garnacho's probably thinking, right, well, this is going to be 2-0, but that's outstanding defending.
Now the ball's played through the middle, Rashford trying to get past the goalkeeper, slides out of his area, and the offside flag's gone up anyway, and Gabriel Slonina had to make that, but he wasn't to know the offside flag was going to go up to save him. And suddenly United had 2 players, Garnacho and Rashford, trying to get in behind.
Yeah, they're just starting to get in behind this back line of Barnsley now, Dan, aren't they? But I think Marcus could have been a little bit braver there, I have to say. Slonina's done brilliant coming off his line just to win that ball, but can Marcus just nick that past the goalkeeper when he's got a simple little tap? Yeah, is he brave enough? I'm not quite sure.
That's the voice of Mickey Gray, former England and Sunderland defender, alongside me, Ian Danter, here at Old Trafford. You're listening to Talksport 2. Manchester United 1, Barnsley 0 in the 3rd round of the Carabao Cup. Manchester United have lost just 1 of their last 18 meetings with Barnsley, all competitions, and it would be remiss of me not to mention our mate Neil Redfern, who was in the last Barnsley team that beat Manchester United in FA Cup replay in the late 90s.
Neil had a great season. I think he's nearly scored 20-odd goals that season.
Well, he provided 2 assists that night.
Yeah.
John Hendry scored, and Scott Jones up from the back got 2.
Scott Jones, wow.
Cole and Sheringham, even their goals weren't enough to stop Man United going out of the Cup that night. Brentford 3, Leyton Orient 1 in the Cup. Christian Norgard gets Brentford's 3rd. They were 1-0 down early doors to the League One side. Everton 1, Southampton 1 a half-time score. So too QPR 0, Palace 1, and Preston 1, Fulham 0. Shocks on there at Deepdale. 12 minutes to half-time here. United 1-0 up and in possession with Rashford, the goal scorer. Gives it back to Casemiro just over the halfway line. Anthony calling for it on this near touch line. Now looking to get the Barnsley defence backpedaling. Dallo on the overlap. Puts the ball into the area. Garnacho with a shot blocked by Roberts on the 6-yard line. And Barnsley are able to clear their lines, and now there's a chance for a break on here, as Barry Cotter's got plenty of green grass to run into down the Barnsley right. Collier comes across to close him down. Cotter gets to the right hand corner of the penalty area, still has it, puts the cross in, weak cross, come to be dealt with by Johnny Evans, and United bring it clear, 1-0 up.
Well, he's a real threat, isn't he, Cotter, on that right hand side. Loves taking defenders on, he's got great energy.
United coming forward as Rashford looks to release Anthony down the right hand side of the box, takes it round the keeper, brings him down, penalty kick as Anthony was brought down by Slonina, who gets a yellow card for his trouble. Anthony won the ball on halfway, just toe-ended it away from a Barnsley defender, continued his run. Rashford looked to slot him through on the right hand side of the box. Slonina brought him down, penalty kick, and a chance for Rashford to get his and United's 2nd of the night.
Well, Marcus, there's no doubt he'll want to take this and he'll want to put the ball in the back of the net. He's in a vein of form at the moment. He seems to go through them spells, doesn't he, in his career?
Oh no, Anthony's taking it.
My goodness,
well,
wow.
Rashford was standing by the penalty spot, but he's moved away. Anthony picked up the ball and had no intention of releasing it.
I'm not sure about this, Dance. I'm really not. I think you've got to be professional, and Marcus is the penalty taker.
Well, let's see how Anthony gets on against Slonina at the east stand end. Short run up, left-footed shot, beats the keeper into the bottom right-hand corner, and Manchester United double their lead with 10 minutes to half-time. And Anthony, about whom so much is being spoken about his commitment to the cause, took the responsibility from 12 yards and made it 2-0.
Well, it's a fantastic finish from Anthony, and he probably deserves the penalty because he was the one who made it. Great running behind and a lovely little through ball from Marcus Rashford, but you're 1-0 up, Dance. I think your penalty taker, who we know is Marcus Rashford, I think he still has to take that. This conversation's been going on for the last couple of seasons in my eyes, and I think you should have a designated penalty taker, and I think before this game started it would have been Marcus if he hadn't scored already. Anthony's got the job done, he's put the ball in the back of the net, and I'm thrilled for him, I really am. But I do still think Marcus Rashford should have had his second goal in this game.
Put it into the side netting to Slanina's left. He guessed correctly, Gabriel Slanina, but couldn't get near it. And so it's Manchester United 2, Barnsley 0 on Talksport 2. Ball downfield as Barnsley try and respond with Max Watters, but now Darryl Clark and his Tykes will be thinking, yikes, this could get worse.
Well, I mean, apart from, Garnacho's had a couple of blocked opportunities, Dance, hasn't he? And the great move there from Anthony and the penalty to make it 2-0, and Marcus's finish, obviously. They've been in the game, Barnsley. I think what they need to do a little bit more, they've got to condense and pack that midfield area. That's where they're getting outplayed. And it's too easy now for them to get the ball to Garnacho and Anthony in the flanks, and then use Marcus's pace. Instead of playing two up front with Yarlow and obviously Watters, just bring one of them back and maybe just drop them into that midfield. It'll help them out because they play some nice football at times.
Bayern Munich 2-0 up on Dinamo Zagreb. Rafael Guerreiro gets the second for Bayern after Harry Kane gave them the opener. Dalot, strong one up to the halfway line, strokes it out to this near touch line for the man who's just dispatched that penalty, Anthony. Now Casemiro, first time ball downfield, cushioned down by Rashford for Eriksen at the edge of the D, trying to make space for a shot. Lovely quick feet from Christian Eriksen, finds Anthony, right hand corner of the area, lofted left footed cross, headed away by De Giovinazzi. He was looking for Rashford there, Anthony. Has it again, Casemiro, ball drops for him, edge of the area, but his left footed shot bounces through to Slanina, who can make a comfortable save in front of his goal line. 2-0.
Do you know, Casemiro played an outstanding ball through for Marcus Rashford there. He was on the shoulder and he was ready for it. It just bounced awkwardly for Marcus and he had to take that touch, then bring Eriksen into play, who showed some great ability at the edge of the box. But that pass from Casemiro, that's what you want to see. Midfield players who don't even think to try and find a player to his feet, just play it in behind and use that pace of the forward players that United have.
Casemiro subbed at half-time against Liverpool in what was a pretty ignominious afternoon for him in that Premier League encounter. Edging towards 100 appearances for United since his move from Real Madrid a couple of years ago. Only got 3 minutes off the bench at Southampton on Saturday, starting tonight. We thought before kick-off he might be playing centre-half, which he's played before, but he is playing in central midfield in a slightly revamped United formation as Bayern Munich go 3-0 up on Dinamo Zagreb, and former Crystal Palace man Michael Elise gets the third for Bayern. Offside flag against Max Watters gives the hosts a free kick. At the edge of the D, Maguire looks immediately for Ugarte, who almost knew he had Adam Phillips breathing down his neck, but still managed to calmly roll it back to the edge of his own area. Now Rashford looking for Garnacho, getting the afterburners on as he gets down the left-hand side of the area, tried to pull it across for Eriksen with the outside of his right boot, and De Giovinazzi was there for Barnsley to block that cross, and the Tykes get it clear. Big chance to make it 3 there.
Massive opportunity, and again it's Marcus who, he's dropping into those pockets, isn't he, and they're picking him out, and Garnacho's a willing runner and he just gets away from his marker, shows his strength, but where's that little bit of composure in the final third?
Now right hand side, Jallo, this young Portuguese, runs into Johnny Evans. It's half his age, I think, but Evans showed him exactly how to defend. Sporting lead Lille by a goal to 0. Former Coventry striker, what a run he's been on for Sporting since moving to Portugal. Victor Gyökeres scores for Sporting. Coventry in action tomorrow night here on Talksport 2 against beleaguered Tottenham Hotspur in the Carabao Cup. Me and Dean Ashton at the Coventry Building Society Arena. 8 o'clock kickoff. United coming forward with Rashford to the byline. Can he keep the ball in play? No, he knew the ball was trickling over the line for a corner kick, so he's let it run. So it's a corner at the east stand end away to our right here at Old Trafford. 2-0.
Well, that diagonal pass has certainly worked for Manchester United now, and the problem is when you play with wing backs, if they're pushed up the field, the two wide players of United, you're just staying wide, so it's on all night long. And Garnacho, willing runner. Anthony's done really well down this right hand side. They're getting in behind them a little bit too much now.
Now with Barnsley leaving 2 men up, United are only leaving 2 men back. They're not panicking so much with a 2-0 advantage. And the short corner is actually passed through the legs of Garnacho and straight to Jallo, who couldn't believe his luck on halfway. But he ran into Diogo Dalot, his compatriot, who came across and robbed it off him and gave it back to Bayindir.
That's what I'm talking about, Danson. I said the first 10 or 15 minutes of lack of concentration and not respecting the team that you're playing against. Garnacho, he must have known that they were going to play that short corner to him. He's not ready for it, and by the time he looks up, the ball's through his legs, and that could have been a problem.
Lovely spin from Anthony on halfway to get away, at least at first, from O'Keefe, but O'Keefe now back goal side. Anthony tried to flick it in field for Rashford, but Barnsley win it back, and then a pretty heavy touch from Luca Connell, beautifully controlled by Darryl Clark, down beneath us on the touchline. Round of applause for that.
Has he got his shirt on underneath that gilet?
Well, we were talking about those boots before kick-off. They come in rather handy there, those Coffin Mundials.
Absolutely. Told you they were the best boots.
You did. Wycombe 5, Brighton 3. So maybe the comeback is on with 10 minutes to go at Adams Park. Harry Howell. Angel Gomez of England and Lille has been sent off in their Champions League tie. Wow. So Lille down to 10 men in the Champions League tonight. They are playing Sporting, who've just gone 1-up through that Victor Gyökeres goal. Manchester United give possession up on halfway. Jallo starting to run at Johnny Evans. He's also got Ugarte there for company. Keeps the ball away from those two. The ball squirts out to Cotter in the right wing position. Keeps it in play, infield for Luca Connell. Tried to play a reverse ball down the right side of the box. He was caught, and he's won a free kick, even though he put his hands on the ball before the referee's whistle had gone. Barnsley have a free kick almost at the right-hand corner of the United penalty area.
Yeah, you can just see there Ugarte, and he looks as if he's in a bit of trouble here as well, Dance. He's holding on to his ankle, whether he's twisted or not, in that challenge. As that challenge came in, he initially won the ball, but then reached for it. You can see he's in a little bit of pain there. You can see the physios are just running across to him now. Hopefully he's going to be okay, because he's growing into the game, Ugarte. You can see the qualities he's got, trying to win that ball back, play it simple, but his energy levels been really good so far.
Yeah, he looks in some distress, and Eric Ten Hag's body language on the touchline is not great. He's having a word with the fourth official down there, Jeff Eltringham, giving a piece of his mind, I think, about the challenge, and there's a bit of blood there around Ugarte's right knee, where presumably the boot of Luca Connell caught him. So there's a bit of treatment needed there. A bit of Vaseline or strapping maybe required to stem the flow of blood. It's just trickling down into his sock on his right leg. Manuel Ugarte. Meantime, Liverpool have taken the lead on Talksport in Milan, and both centre-halves have scored tonight. After Konate got the equaliser, Virgil van Dijk makes it Milan 1, Liverpool 2. That's over on Talksport right now, approaching half-time with Jim Proudfoot and Scott Minto and Adrian Durham. Meantime, Newport County lead West Ham's under-21s by a 1-0 late on in their Football League trophy game. Oliver Greaves with the goal for the Exiles, with 7 minutes to go at Rodney Parade. Stockport 4, Everton under-21s 1. Amari Benjamin gets a goal back for Everton's youngsters. Everton Southampton is 0-0 at half-time in the League Cup. Ugarte's back on his feet and will be back on in just a moment. Just applying some strapping, I think, around his right, just below his right knee. Meantime, Barnsley have this free kick out on the right-hand side for Corey O'Keefe to swing into the area. Earl is the furthest player at the back post. All the centre-halves are up. In it comes from O'Keefe, headed up and out by Casemiro. Connell actually collides with his own player, O'Keefe, on that far right-hand side, and United will try and counter, and Garnacho finds Rashford, gets over halfway, but Cotter slides in with a strong challenge just inside his own half to put it out of play for a United throw. And we're about to find out how much minimum stoppage time we have at the end of this first half. The answer to that question is 2 minutes. Vicky Gray.
Well, at the minute you would say 2 minutes for Barnsley to hang on, just to keep this score down, and then you can go in at half time and maybe readdress. But individual performances down to the Barnsley shirt, they don't come any better than Barry Cotter. He's been absolutely fabulous. He really has. Some of those challenges he had to make just a second ago against Marcus Rashford, I mean, you got to time him absolutely perfect, and he did so.
He's got some more defending to do here, Cotter, because United coming down the left-hand side with Rashford, looking to flick it infield to Eriksson. O'Keefe just clears it high into the sky first time. There's an offside flag up against Watters, so a free kick it will be. Barry Cotter, he joined last year to the Oakwell club. He was at Ipswich Town, came through the Irish League at clubs like Limerick and Shamrock Rovers, and he has looked very adept on that far right hand side for Barnsley. Minute of the minimum stoppage time has gone. Bayindir clears downfield, and it's just going to drop for Anthony, who was going to flick it through to Rashford, but the ball just wouldn't sit down for him, and O'Keefe got it clear. But now Rashford has it back, left hand corner of the area, getting the ball onto his right foot. Lovely quick feet, it might break for Garnacho. It's number 3 for United, right on half time. We were only saying that Barnsley will be desperate to get back into the changing room with a score at just 2-0 to reappraise what they do. And then Garnacho toe pokes the ball in from about 10 yards out after lovely approach play from Marcus Rashford. And surely United are home and hosed before we've reached the half-time whistle. Manchester United 3, Barnsley 0. Alejandro Garnacho.
Well, so far the perfect night for Manchester United in the perfect first half. I think Erik ten Hag was hoping for goals tonight. Well, his front 3 players have now got themselves on the score sheet. I mean, it's twinkle toes, isn't it, from Marcus? It gets a little bit of good fortune with a ricochet. He'll still be claiming an assist, I'm sure, but Garnacho, he's the brightest, isn't he, in the 18-yard box? He just turns, and that little change of pace with a toe punt into the corner. Great first half for Manchester United.
Super finish from the young Argentine. Well, Roberts was sliding in. I'm not sure whether he got anything on that, Mark Roberts, as he slid in. We're back underway on Talksport 2. And Barnsley send a long ball downfield, and that will be that. A first half that will keep the natives very happy here at the Theatre of Dreams. The 2023 winners of the League Cup are 3 goals to the good against League One Barnsley. Alejandro Garnacho right on half-time, making it 3 after Marcus Rashford made it 2 goals in 2 appearances for him with the opener. Anthony took the responsibility for a penalty kick not long after he'd been brought down by the Barnsley keeper Slonina, scored that penalty to get himself involved on the score sheet before Garnacho's 3rd. Barnsley flirted at times with the Manchester United goalmouth, but Altay Bayindir on his Manchester United home debut hasn't really had a save to make in the first half. Let's get Mickey Gray's thoughts on Manchester United 3, Barnsley 0 at the break.
Well, as I said before, Dante, I think it's been the perfect half for Manchester United. They've come here tonight, and I think everybody in this stadium in a Manchester United shirts expected goals. Your front 3 have got themselves on a score sheet. They've been pretty professional, albeit I do think Marcus Rashford should have took that penalty to make it 2-0. But Anthony did slot it away, and I'm taking nothing away from him. I think he's actually played very well in this first half. They've looked organised, they got away from those nerves in the first couple of minutes, they settled themselves down. I think Ten Hag will be pleased with their performance as a Casemiro eventually. Didn't start the game brightly, but Ugarte's come into the starting 11, he's looked accomplished. But overall, I think, players are getting minutes, and it's been a really good first half from them, albeit I think Barnsley could maybe find themselves a little bit unfortunate to find themselves 3 goals down. If they kept it to 2, it's still a cup tie in the second half, but now it's going to be coming out in the second half and maybe just trying to keep the score down. And your first proper look at Manuel Ugarte in defensive midfield. All right, it's not a Premier League encounter, but what have you made of his approach? Well, as I mentioned, Dance, I mean, of the 10 games, I'm going into last season here as well, that he's been available for, he's only played 90 minutes, and he's played 2 games for his national side, Uruguay, and he didn't play the full 90 minutes in both of them. He's lacking that little bit of sharpness, but you can see what he's got. He's got that little look over his shoulder where he can get away from somebody. He runs with the ball very well. He keeps hold of the ball very good also, and he just waits and tries to give it to the players in those 4 positions. I've been really impressed with him, and I think over the coming weeks he's only going to make Manchester United starting 11 better.
What Darryl Clark's saying to his players right now?
Yeah, well, he's obviously gutted. I mean, being a Manchester United supporter, he probably wanted to enjoy his evening tonight. Well, he did for the first, 15 to 16 minutes. But after that first goal went in for Man United, you were just thinking, right, when's the second and the third going to come? But at times they played some nice football. I do think that O'Keefe's been very good on this left-hand side. He's worked tirelessly up and down as a wing-back on the left-hand side. But the standout for me is Barry Cotter on that right-hand side. I think he's got something about him. That little step over, the change of pace, his quality in wide areas has been really good also.
Stoke have just taken the lead in the second half of their League Cup tie against Fleetwood. Michael Rose up from the back to put the Potters ahead. But here at Old Trafford, Rashford on 16, Anthony 10 minutes before the break from the penalty spot, and Garnacho right on half-time have put Manchester United in full control of this third round tie against Barnsley. At the break here, live on Talksport 2, it's Manchester United 3, Barnsley 0.
It's the midweek grudge match where the only thing they're playing for is pride. Goldstein versus Bent in the end-of-show quiz on Talksport with BP Me Rewards. Every Wednesday at Drive, join the lads as they go head-to-head in the ultimate battle for bragging rights. Can you identify football's most loyal players from the cryptic clues? The end-of-show quiz on Talksport with BP Me Rewards. Simply download and scan the BP Me app with every purchase to earn BP Me reward points, then redeem them on little treats or even money off your next shop at BP.
We all crave more. More freedom for adventures. More room for tools. More comfort for long drives. Whether you're conquering mountains or everyday life, more is, well, more. At the Volkswagen Commercial Vehicle Stock Sales event this September, you can get more with an extra £750 off new stock vans, including the hard-working Transporter 6.1 and the adventurous California camper van. Discover more at volkswagen-vans.co.uk/sale. UK retail customers 18+. Discount applies to on-the-road or manufacturer's direct price of new stock vehicles only. Ordered and delivered by September 30th at participating van centres.
Live on DAZN, September 21st. Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois fight for the IBF World Heavyweight title.
Anthony Joshua!
AJ stands on the brink of history to become a 3-time world champion.
Oh, big shot! A colossal right hand for Dubois!
Daniel Dynamite Dubois, Britain's silent powerhouse, stands in his way. An explosive night at Wembley awaits. Joshua versus Dubois, live on DAZN, September 21st. Buy now at DAZN.com.
For our new development project, we need a kitchen and bedrooms partner that means business.
Just say Wren.
I'm ready for someone who can deliver whatever my timescale or budget.
Just say Wren.
With a huge choice of styles turned around in under 10 days.
And made in their own UK factories.
Yeah.
Just say Wren. Wren Contracts has the scale and expertise to make sure every project, from fast-moving high-rise developments to social housing, deliver to plan. So just say Wren and visit wrencontracts.com today.
What's worse than having a minging flatmate? Having nothing in your flat, mate. Hop to Lidl and get 50% off all air fryers, a HP notebook for £139, and Silent Night bedding from £4.99. Now that's big on quality. And always Lidl on price. Subject to availability, selected stores, GB only.
The Monopoly game is back at McDonald's. With over 70 million prizes up for grabs, like McDonald's food, 21 electric minis, and 5 lots of 100 grand. New Monopoly Power Peel at McDonald's. Peel on pack, make moves in app. 18+, UK only. Ends 15th of October. Selected menu items only. Subject to availability. App may be required. See mcdrules.co.uk.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League and the English Football League. The Social with Adi Oladipo and Rory Jennings. Tomorrow afternoon from 3 on Talksport 2. Outspoken opinions and decisive debate following all the action.
We talk about football in a bipartisan and educated way. Well, I do at least.
I try.
News, views, fun and football fixtures.
It's not just football though. Bit of boxing, bit of horse racing, even a bit of rugby.
And it's a try!
And some phenomenal guests.
If you can't get in this squad after showing the form he showed, I don't think it looks too good for him.
This is the place to be.
It's Addy and Rory. It's The Social on Talksport 2.
What a goal!
The Social.
Tomorrow afternoon from 3.
It just works, doesn't it? On Talksport 2.
Locked on and ready to go.
Blasted into the corner of the net.
The League Cup live on Talksport 2.
by a lovely ball. Rashford steps inside Roberts and fires Manchester United ahead. 2-2 for Marcus Rashford.
Well, it's just what Erik ten Hag wanted to see. It's just what Manchester United needed, and it's just what this stadium needed.
Dalot works it in field for Eriksson. Little ball from Casemiro into Dalot, pulls it back. Surely 2-0. Brilliant block by Barry Cotter.
Garnacho's probably thinking, right, well, this is going to be 2-0, but that's outstanding defending.
Rashford looks to release Anthony down the right hand side of the box, takes it round the keeper, brings him down, penalty kick, short run up, left footed shot, beats the keeper into the bottom right hand corner, and Manchester United double their lead with 10 minutes to half time. Left hand corner of the area, getting the ball onto his right foot, lovely quick feet, it might break for Garnacho. It's number 3 for United, right on half time.
Great first half for Manchester United.
This is Talksport 2, half time then at Old Trafford. That's the scoreline. Manchester United 3, Barnsley 0. Ian Danter here with you. Your commentator Mickey Gray, former England and Sunderland defender, is alongside me. Let's run you through the scores at the moment, domestically and in the Champions League tonight. In the EFL Cup, all these games, aside from the one we're at, are well into the second half. It's Stoke 1, Fleetwood 0. Blackpool 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Brentford 3, Leyton Orient 1. Orient were 1-0 up. Everton 1, Southampton 1. Preston 1, Fulham 0. That's Championship beating Premier League. QPR 1, Crystal Palace 1. QPR have just equalised as I've been speaking to you. That's 1-1 at Loftus Road. Eddie Nketiah had put Palace ahead. And Manchester United 3, Barnsley 0. In the EFL Trophy, full-time Stockport 4, Everton Academy 1. Still playing in Group H, Mansfield 0, Bradford 2 with 20 to play. Full-time Walsall 1, Fulham 0, and Wickham 5, Brighton's Academy 0. In Group C, coming to the end there, Cambridge 1, Charlton 2, and Colchester 1, MK Dons 1 early in the second half in Group E. In Group H, full-time Newport 1, West Ham 0. And in the Champions League, earlier full-time scores, you heard it live on Talksport 2. Aston Villa 3-0 winners, and very impressive in winning by that scoreline at Young Boys. And Juventus 3, PSV 1. Half-time scores, this game live on Talksport. AC Milan 1, Liverpool 2. Konate and Van Dijk getting Liverpool ahead after Milan had taken the lead. Bayern Munich 3, Dinamo Zagreb 0. Real Madrid 0, Stuttgart 0 is a somewhat surprising half-time scoreline. And Sporting Club de Portugal 1, Lille 0. Angel Gomez sent off for Lille towards the end of that first half. You're up to date. Tomorrow we got more live Carabao Cup action for you. Tottenham Hotspur travelling to face Championship Coventry City at the Coventry Building Society Arena. I'll be there with Dean Ashton for full commentary. Ahead of this game, we dispatched our very own Ian Abrahams to attend Ange Postecoglou's pre-match press conference.
Opening 4 games, you easily could be sitting there having won all 4, the way your team have played, domination against Leicester, but they haven't. So, in a sense, there's the winning mentality. How do you marriage the winning mentality with your philosophy going forward so you win more?
Yeah, well, it's just like I said, it's a consistency and sort of belief in what we're doing, and you know, I've said before, it's not an easy process. It you know, at times can feel pretty disheartening when things don't happen smoothly, but I've always believed in certain things to be true, and one is that if you keep playing well, the results will come, but you just can't do that and expect it to happen. You know, there's still elements in our game that we need to improve on, and you know, I think when you look at the 4 games, I think that you could summarise all 4 games in a very similar way of us, you know, outperforming the opposition, but not taking the critical moments in our favour, and you pay a price for that. But that doesn't mean you need to change your approach. If anything, you just need to keep doing what you're doing and make sure that in those critical moments we take advantage of it.
That's Ange Postecoglou running the rule over his side's chances as they travel to Coventry tomorrow night in the Carabao Cup, and we'll be on air full commentary from 8 p.m. Myself and Dean Ashton will be with you at the Coventry Building Society Arena, whilst over on Talk Sport tomorrow evening we'll cross the city of Manchester from here at Old Trafford to the Etihad. Manchester City's first Champions League game of the season. They welcome the other side of Milan. AC Milan playing Liverpool tonight. Inter arrive in Manchester, the team they beat in the final just a year ago. Here's how the City boss Pep Guardiola is approaching the competition's brand new format.
Win our first game and the second one, and see what happened in the last games. Take a look. Just like in the Premier League, it's not necessary to take the table right now. It will be in the future. Is win the first game and the next ones, and after we see. But for all of us, it's new, so. And maybe for more experience next season, if we are lucky to play this competition, so maybe we can read better what you have to do. But normally in the past, when you have success to go through in the group stages, we at home always we were able to win all the games except 1 year. Make 9 points, and this is what you have to do. Our games at home, you have to try to take the points, otherwise everything can happen.
There's Pep Guardiola chatting ahead of Manchester City welcoming Inter Milan to the Etihad. That's live on Talksport tomorrow night. Coverage starts at 7 p.m. Adrian Durham, your host at the Etihad, Jim Proudfoot, and the former Newcastle manager Alan Pardew will be your commentary team, whilst I'll be over here on Talksport 2 with Dean Ashton for that Coventry City Tottenham Hotspur Carabao Cup tie. Atalanta against Arsenal is also live on Talksport on Thursday night. That is an 8 o'clock kickoff. Coverage again starting at 7 p.m. with Hugh Wisencroft, your host. Darren Bent will be alongside Joe Shannon on commentary. Now there's going to be a triple change for Barnsley, it seems, at the start of this second half, because I can see Stephen Humphreys, Conor McCarthy and Matthew Craig all stripped and ready for action. So Darrell Clark has clearly seen enough and wants a reaction, Mickey Gray, from his players at the start of this second half. Let's just see who is making way. I can't see Yoganathan out there, the young Sri Lankan midfielder, so he's only lasted 45 minutes, and Matthew Craig is an obvious replacement for him, wearing number 18. And that is indeed the first confirmed change. Yoganathan off, and Matthew Craig, who's on loan from Tottenham, coming on. Stephen Humphreys has come on for Fabio Giallo rather. And the other player coming on was Conor McCarthy.
Roberts, I think, went off.
Yeah, Roberts, the centre-half, has gone off. Thank you, Mickey Gray. Look at that.
You're welcome.
He's been eating his carrots. His vision is quite fantastic. So he spotted them. Roberts has gone off. And Conor McCarthy, the Irish centre-back, back from loan at Swindon last season, is on. So a triple change for Barnsley, no change for Manchester United, as we get the second half underway, with Manchester United in there, red shirts, white shorts, black socks, kicking towards the Stretford end to our left, as they love to do in the second half of games. We're sat halfway up in the Bobby Charlton stand, the Barnsley fans to our right in the southeast corner, and that east stand end is the end that Barnsley in their grey away strip will be attacking in the second period. It's Sam Field who got QPR level against Palace, incidentally, in the second half of that cup tie. 1-1 at the Loft. United lining up with Bayindir in goal, his first appearance here, remember, tonight. Dalot, Maguire and Evans in kind of a back three. Casemiro, Collier, Ugarte, Anthony, Eriksson, Garnacho and Rashford. For Barnsley, Slonina in goal. It's now De Gevigny, McCarthy and Earl. Cotter and O'Keefe wing-backs. Phillips, Craig and Connell in midfield. Humphreys and Watters in attack. Here is Toby Collier finding Garnacho on the left-hand corner of the penalty area. Works it infield to Casemiro, lofts the ball into the box looking for Rashford. McCarthy got a touch. Casemiro tries a shot along the deck from fully 35 yards out, clatters into the leg of a Barnsley player, but the home side still have it. Dalot down the right-hand side of the penalty area, tries to lay it back to Eriksson, but that was intercepted, but only cleared as far as Collier, urged to shoot by the Stretford end, but he elects not to. Preston North End 1, Fulham 1. Reece Nelson equalises for Fulham at Deepdale in the Cup. And Colchester United 2, MK Dons 1 in the Football League Trophy. Fiacre Kelleher gets the second for Colchester. teased down the right-hand side of the box for Anthony to give chase. He slides in to challenge Corey O'Keefe, but the ball went out of play for a goal kick. I can see Phil Parkinson just taking his seat, the Wrexham manager who was in charge at St Andrews last night for the game we brought you on Talksport 2.
Thought your lot might have wiped the smile off his face, Dance, but he looks as if he's enjoying his time at Old Trafford.
Yeah, you wouldn't
tonight.
know we walloped to 3-1, would you? Actually, Gary Cook's here as well. I've seen him in the executive box, the Birmingham City chief exec. Wonder if they've crossed paths in the boardroom this evening. Ball whacked forward for Barnsley by Slonina, the on-loan Chelsea goalkeeper, who brought down Anthony for that second goal for United tonight. Connell can't quite evade the challenge of Casemiro, but he brought him down, Casemiro. And again, the referee Gavin Wood just telling Casemiro on this occasion, calm yourself down, like he did to Toby Collier in the first half. But no yellow cards issued yet. 3-0 to Manchester United, a couple of minutes gone in the second half.
Well, those changes, Dance, that we touched on at half-time for Barnsley, Craig McCarthy and Humphreys coming onto the field. I just wonder whether it's now become an occasion for Barnsley where these players want a chance to play at Old Trafford. They might not get the chance again. It's great for them, it really is, and you never know what it might do for these players moving forward. But when you're 3 down at Old Trafford against Manchester United, you're probably not expected to come back and get anything from the game. So I think Darrell Clark maybe looked at that and thought, well, we've got a big game at the weekend against Burton. Let's get the players out there as quick as we possibly can.
Josh Earl bringing the ball forward for Barnsley, out to the left-hand side, and O'Keefe comes in field to the centre of the half, plays the ball into the feet of Watters, holds it up well. Connell turns it back to Earl. Cotter in bags of space on this near side, calling for it, but brilliant work from Manuel Ugarte to win it back. And now they've sprung the offside trap, and Garnacho's in behind, running into the edge of the area to make it for... Never in doubt. As soon as Alejandro Garnacho was set free, springing the offside trap, he raced clear and slotted it neatly into the bottom corner past Slonina, and Manchester United extend their lead still further. 4 minutes gone in the second half. 2 for Garnacho, 4 for United. It's 4-0.
Dare I say it, it's Manchester United at their best. We've touched on them being a counter-attacking side maybe over the last 3 or 4 seasons. Well, Ugarte does absolutely brilliant. That's what he was brought to this club to do. He wins the ball back, a simple little layoff to Rashford into Eriksen, who, he can see a pass. He can see that run of Garnacho down the left-hand side. You're not going to catch him. One touch out of his feet, he knows what he wants to do. He gets his head up, composes himself this time, and he just slots it past Lanani. And it's an absolutely brilliant finish, and this ties over, and it's been a really solid and professional performance from Manchester United.
Edging towards 100 appearances, Alejandro Garnacho, since his breakthrough a couple of years ago, and he's on a hat-trick now for Manchester United, and we've only played 5 minutes of the second half on Talksport 2. Humphreys for Barnsley as they once again try and respond. Collier won the ball back. There were claims for a free kick from the Barnsley fans away to our right, but nothing doing. Evans' clearance is headed out over the dead ball line by Stephen Humphreys, once of Wigan, and the ball's out of play for a Manchester United goal kick away to our right. QPR 1, Crystal Palace 2. Palace go back in front. Eberechi Eze just past the hour mark, putting Palace 2-1 ahead at Loftus Road. Charlton have beaten Cambridge in the Football League Trophy at the Abbey, and Real Madrid have finally broken the deadlock against Stuttgart in the Champions League. Kylian Mbappe, a minute into the second half, makes it Real Madrid 1, Stuttgart 0. Ugarte, being manhandled by Adam Phillips, takes a quick free kick, spots Eriksen in space, slots a lovely pass into the path of Dalot, who didn't have to break his stride as he picked play up on the right-hand side. Now Anthony jinking in field, being wrestled to the ground by Luca Connell. That's a free kick to United, midway point of the Barnsley half. 4-0.
Well, it's crisp. It's crisp football now from Manchester United. They're enjoying themselves. There's a lot of space out there. They've got that 4-goal deficit now. They can go and express themselves. And Marcus Rashford, Dance, has stood over this free kick from 30 yards out. I wonder if the score was a little bit different. Maybe pass this one on to Anthony as well. Still don't get that. It's when we up that in the first half.
That's it. You're still talking about it. Free kick for Marcus Rashford. The wall for Barnsley's been set up a good 2 or 3 yards ahead of the 18-yard line. As Barry Davies once said, is he going to have a crack? Marcus Rashford, he is going to have a crack, and it's well saved by Slonina, diving away to his right and pushing it clear. But Garnacho picks it up. Left-hand corner of the box, cross to the far post, headed out. Just missing out Dallo, but retrieved for United by Casemiro. Now Anthony to put it back into the box, but that's a more comfortable claim for Slonina. And Barnsley try and clear their lines. Humphreys does well on halfway. Cotter, who's been ever willing all night, clips the ball in field, and Watters just for a moment was in behind Ugarte, but the ball looped away from him and bounced through to Bayindir, who's still keeping a clean sheet on his home debut for Manchester United. 4-0.
Yeah, Watters, it was just unfortunate, wasn't it? The skid took it away from him. You could see he was in a 1v1 with Ugarte. God only knows why he was the last man, but good defending yet again, composed. And that beamie bonnet dance about that free kick. I'm going back to the penalty, right? Just hear me out.
Go on then.
Does Harry Kane pass it to anybody? Does Cristiano Ronaldo pass that penalty to anybody? That's what I'm saying it for, because that's the difference. Well, a goal scorer is a goal scorer.
I suspect when you've got any football dressing room, I mean, you've been there, I haven't. You've got a lot of alpha males in there, a lot of testosterone flying about.
I get it if it's 3-0. Yeah. I understand it if it's 3-0, but it was 1-0 at the time, and that could have went seriously wrong if he misses that. We know that Anthony's searching for some confidence, and he has had a very good game, I have to say that. But my bee in my bonnet is, you're a centre forward, Marcus. Go and score goals, whether it's from the penalty spot or elsewhere.
Crystal Palace next for Manchester United at Selhurst Park. And that's the interesting question, I guess, for Erik ten Hag tonight, having made 8 changes. How many of these 8 players coming in have given him a selection headache?
I think there's a lot. I really do, Dance. I think he can now rely on these players. Yes, they need more game time. They need to get up to speed in the Premier League. Let's not forget, with the greatest respect, they're playing against Barnsley, so there's a lot of space for them to go and express and enjoy themselves. But the players have adapted to it. They've been professional, and I think it's been a good performance.
9 minutes gone in the second half. Manchester United 4, Barnsley 0. If you're just tuning into Carabao Cup live on Talksport 2. Interesting, in Germany, Bayern Munich were 3-0 up. It's now 3-2 against Dinamo Zagreb. 2 goals in 2 minutes from Bruno Petkovic and Takuya Ogiwara, making it Bayern 3, Dinamo Zagreb 2 in the Champions League. Remember, over on Talksport, Liverpool 2-1 up in Milan, having come from behind. That's live with Jim Proudfoot and Scott Minto. Just get the Talksport app downloaded. And look, I'm a drummer, I'm stupid, and I can swipe very easily between Talksport and Talksport 2. It's that easy. If I can, I'm sure you can. Here's Rashford trying to clip the ball round the defender to get Anthony through the middle. Anthony trying to win the ball back in the centre circle as Barnsley broke, but he fouled to Giovinazzi. And Sam Cosgrove, once of Aberdeen and Birmingham City, is getting an opportunity up front, replacing Max Watters, who's been feeding off scraps for most of this game, really, hasn't he, Mickey Gray?
Yeah, he has. It's been a difficult night, hasn't it, for Watters? You know, shall I come deep? But when they do get the ball, Barnsley, they've just given it away. Certainly, we come out in his second half, he's just been running around like a headless chicken and not being able to get involved in the game as much as he wants to. But it gives Cosgrove the opportunity to maybe enjoy his night, and he gets himself on the score sheet. I think he'd be pretty pleased.
He scored already this season against Lincoln in the league. Barry Cotter thought he'd want to throw in for Barnsley. He can't believe when the assistant told him it was actually a throw for Manchester United, deep in their own half by the corner flag, left hand side. Jack Simpson sent off for Leyton Orient. Remember, they were 1-0 up at Brentford, they're now 3-1 down and down to 10 men. Cotter trying to get the ball in for the right hand side as he worked tenaciously to win the ball back, but he ran out of ground and the ball went over the dead ball line for United. Goal kick. 4-0.
Just wonder what Darrell Clark could be thinking about the game now as well, Dance. No, he's got an important game at the weekend. Look, priority number 1 is getting out of League One if he possibly can, and we know how difficult that's going to be. Does he rest his star players? I know he's made a lot of substitutions already in the game, but does he think to himself, well, look, I don't want to get embarrassed tonight, 4's bad enough. I think the last time in the Premier League, didn't United beat them 7-0?
That's right. Anthony trying to get away down the right-hand side. O'Keefe and him both fell to a heap at the edge of the area. Poor clearance from Barnsley, and Rashford has been sent away by Garnacho, and now he's on a hat-trick. United have 5, Barnsley wasteful in their own defensive third, and Garnacho turns provider to slip in Marcus Rashford, and a simple finish at the Stretford end to make it Manchester United 5, Barnsley 0.
Well, super finish from Marcus Rashford. Just wonder what was going on prior to that with Anthony just going down in the 18-yard box. It was as if everybody stopped. Barnsley giving the ball away, and that simple little pass in behind the back line of Barnsley. And Marcus, I think last season, Dance, he chops that onto his right foot and tries to finish. I think he's been clinical. I think Van Nistelrooy's helped him out in these situations, and it's nice when it pays off. But you cannot give the ball away in that central area. Garnacho, it's just a simple ball, and he's onside. Times he's run well, Marcus. And I think as well, playing at first time, would he have done that 6 months ago, Marcus? I don't think so. It's an excellent finish.
Yeah, really good, low, crisp, left-footed effort from Marcus Rashford, tucking the ball away inside Slonina's right-hand post at the Stretford end. So 3 goals in 2 games for Marcus Rashford. Be feeling a whole lot better about things. So both him and Garnacho on a hat-trick. And now for Darrell Clarke, the thought of damage limitation really comes into play. Mickey Gray at 5-0 down.
It does. You start to panic a little bit. You don't want to get embarrassed, do you? And it's just a matter of just trying to see the game out now.
Well, down goes Stephen Humphreys, just clipped by Ugarte in the centre of the United half. So Barnsley have a free kick. Of course, the Barnsley fans are shouting off, off, off. They want any sort of chance they get to give themselves a foothold in this game. But the free kick's that far out that the older shaving foam's gone down from the referee just in front of the D. But it's dead central here for Barnsley to have a crack at goal. 5-0 down as they are.
Yeah, it's a big opportunity for Barnsley. Look, it'd be an absolute worldie if he takes the strike on from this free kick, 30 yards out. But it's those little moments that you cherish for a lifetime, wouldn't you? I mean, who stood over it? Is it Connell, I think, who stood over it with his left foot here as well?
Phillips fancies it. Humphreys definitely fancies it. He's paced back a good 3 or 4 paces back from the ball, Stephen Humphreys. Bayern Munich 4, Dinamo Zagreb 2. Harry Kane with his second of the night. It is Humphreys with the free kick, smacks it straight into the wall. It hit Rashford's knees, I think, and Anthony guides it back to his own dead ball line for Dalot to float it out. Beautiful first time control from Eriksson, and he's released Garnacho, who's away again up to the area. This time defender trying to get goal side, the crossfield ball trying to pick out Rashford is smothered by the keeper, and it stays 5-0.
Well, I'm nitpicking again here, but that's one thing I question about Garnacho. His end product, it's got to improve, Dance, because that should have been a cross, a simple cross with his left foot. The ball through from Eriksson again, outstanding. He knows that Garnacho's got the beaten on this left-hand side with his pace, but get your head up, cross the ball with your left foot. It's a simpler cross, and Marcus has got to tap in.
Played an hour. Triple change being ready by Erik ten Hag. He's going to be bringing on Mazraoui, Fernandes and Zirkzee. But they're having to wait for a moment because the home side are in possession with Dalot. Looks for Anthony over on the far right-hand side of the field as they attack the Stretford end. Anthony finds Garnacho, little flick round the corner for Dalot, right-hand corner of the area. Clips it slightly infield for Anthony, gives it back to Dalot. First time cross maybe? No. Dalot checks back and gives it back to Anthony. Infield for Casemiro. Lovely flick, trying to get Dalot away inside the area, but it was read by Corey O'Keefe, who brings it clear strongly for Barnsley. And now Craig, the substitute, on loan from Spurs this season.
Just need to keep the ball, don't they, Dance, for a couple of minutes if they can. Even a minute, Barnsley. Just slow things down. Stop looking for that worldy pass over the top. Just try and just grow into the game a little bit. Get your breath back and then just readdress what's gone wrong over the last 5 to 6 minutes.
So Rashford and Garnacho both on hat-tricks. Harry Kane's gone and got one. FC Bayern Munich 5, Dinamo Zagreb 2 in the Champions League, and a third for Kane, who's been breaking all sorts of records.
Yeah.
I think he broke a Haaland record.
Yeah, he did.
He?
He did by getting those goals tonight. That's just incredible.
Well, here come the changes for Manchester United. And Marcus Rashford will not get his hat-trick tonight. He is coming off. So too is Ugarte, who, as Mickey Grace mentioned, still working his way to full match sharpness and getting a full 90 minutes under his belt. And Dalot, the other player, coming off. So Rashford, Dalot, Ugarte coming off. Zirkzee, Fernandes, Mazraoui coming on, Mickey Gray.
Yeah, positive changes, and I'm sure the players that are coming onto the field right now want a part of this result if they possibly can, and Mazraoui will just settle in over on that right-hand side, but Fernandes still looking for his first goal of the season. I'm sure before the end of this game we'll be talking about some opportunities from him. And Zirkzee, I think he's had a bright start in a Manchester United shirt, scoring on the opening day. He showed something different, hasn't he? But these are the games where you want to add to your tally if you possibly can. But I think Erik ten Hag's pleased with the players that have certainly gone off. Ugarte, he could be absolutely fantastic in Manchester United. I think he certainly showed signs tonight of what he's all about moving forward for Manchester United.
Meantime, Kieran Lofthouse has come on for Barnsley as a straight swap, really, with right wing back Barry Cotter, who I know Mickey's been impressed with throughout the game, but he just stayed down a couple of minutes ago, injured, and he's been replaced. Meantime, Garnacho works really hard to keep the ball in play down by the corner flag, left hand side, attacking the Stretford end. 5-0 the score, 63 minutes gone. Casemiro looks to his right for Mazraoui, urged to shoot by one or two around us, works it out to Anthony, right hand corner of the area, he goes for goal, and Slanina tips it over the bar. Corner kick to Manchester United, 5-0 up.
Patient football now, isn't it? Using that width really well. Anthony full of confidence, very good game tonight, and why not just try and whip that into the top corner. Simple save in the end from Slanina, I have to say, but it's all Manchester United now, isn't it? They're enjoying themselves.
And they have a corner where the Stretford end meets the Bobby Charlton stand, right next to the tunnel. Be a right-footed in-swinger from Christian Eriksen. He actually rolls it out to 25 yards out for Casemiro. He lobs the ball to the far post, headed back towards goal by Maguire, but it actually came off the side of his head and went behind for a Barnsley goal kick. 5-0 to United. Just over 25 minutes to go on Talksport 2. Don't forget the Sports Bar with Jermaine Pennant joining Jason Cundy from 10 o'clock tonight over on Talksport. You can book your call now. Operators are standing by, as the phrase goes. 03717 223344. Get yourself on national radio and tell the lads how your team played tonight. They've been playing in the Cup or the Champions League. Zirkzee with a shot blocked, comes out to Garnacho on a hat-trick, left hand side of the area, wriggling towards the dead ball line, pulls it back to the near post, and De Givigny got it away temporarily for Barnsley, but Eriksen has it back. Finds Casemiro, centre of the Barnsley half, good ball across to Mazraoui, cutting in field, now finds Bruno Fernandes, back it goes to Casemiro, overhit pass intended for Anthony. He's quick, but he's not that quick. And it's a throw-in to Barnsley as Bayern Munich go 5-2 up on Dinamo Zagreb. Michael Olise gets his second of the night. And remember, earlier today, you heard it live on Talksport 2, Aston Villa back in the Champions League, or European Cup if you like, for the first time since they won the thing. Won 3-0 at Young Boys. And Liverpool over on Talksport right now still 2-1 up at AC Milan, with goals from their centre-halves Konate and Van Dijk having gone behind. Mansfield 0, Bradford 3 in the Football League Trophy. Clark Odwar, once off Barnsley, scoring the third for Bradford. I remember he scored a goal that kept Barnsley up at Brentford on the last day of the Championship season in lockdown and prevented Brentford a chance of getting automatic promotion. An incredible night at the old Griffin Park. Fleetwood have equalised at Stoke, so League 2 Fleetwood equalised at Championship Stoke in the Cup. It's going to go to penalties because that's in the 91st minute that Reece Bennett has equalised for Fleetwood. Here at Old Trafford, it's not quite that close. Barnsley finding themselves 5-0 down with a quarter of the game to go. Adam Phillips on his 100th appearance. The ball's cleared out as far as Stephen Humphreys, trying to get into the area, blocked away by Mazraoui. Picked up on the left-hand side by Luke O'Connell. O'Keefe has to drift away from the penalty area. Comes in field, was he clipped? No, Zirkzee didn't foul him, said the referee. And Bruno Fernandes tries to bring it clear. He's dispossessed. All of it scrappy, but worked out to the Barnsley right. And Lofthouse, first chance for him to get involved. Lays it off to Adam Phillips. Deep ball to the far post. Too deep for anybody in a grey Barnsley shirt. And it will be a Manchester United throw in their right back position. 5-0 the score on Talksport 2.
Derek Clark still trying to pass on information to his players and expecting better from them. Albeit they find themselves 5 goals down at the moment, he still wants a strong finish to the game, and it's going to have to be done. There's still a long way to go, and Manchester United can add to this scoreline if they want to, because they've got the quality out there. There's no question of it, and they've still got to stay switched on, Barnsley.
They're into their third successive season as a League One side, Barnsley, after relegation from the Championship. 4th and 6th in their previous 2 seasons. Playoff heartache both times. Oh, Maguire bringing the ball forward for United and making a strong run through the centre of the field. Garnacho picks it up. Options left and right. Goes right to Anthony, just inside the area, right hand side. Dallo on the overlap, pulls it back. Garnacho fires over the bar when he should have had his hat-trick. Massive chance for Garnacho, and he's lying flat on his back inside the Barnsley box, knowing that he should have buried that, but instead it went a good 3 or 4 feet over the crossbar, and it stays 5-0.
Well, it starts with I think it was Harry Maguire dance, wasn't it, bursting out from the back, Beckenbauer-like. But then he plays the ball over to that right-hand side. It's a lovely little intricate play. Anthony just waiting for that run for Fernandes. A little ricochet, just sits up for Garnacho. I think it's a save that the goalkeeper should make, but when you're on a hat-trick, you've already got 2 in the back of the net. He should be bursting net there.
But 5-0 it stays. So we're into the final quarter of this cup tie. No jeopardy for Manchester United. They've got the Europa League to worry about next week. FC Twente coming here. A week on Thursday, and then Spurs will be here in the Premier League following that on the Sunday. They've got Palace to come this weekend at Selhurst Park. Here's Stephen Humphreys for Barnsley. Once of Wigan, Stephen Humphreys. Now Luke O'Connell, the captain, inside left channel. Goes for goal and skims the side netting. Bayindir, I think, had it covered, but it was a real snapshot from the Barnsley captain from distance. Bayindir flying to his right, saw the ball skim the side netting. He'll want to keep a clean sheet tonight for Manchester United.
Yeah, he will. It'll go a long way, and the confidence that he needs as well. Still been here a little while, but needs more opportunities to put that pressure on Onana in that Manchester United goal. But I think he just parried himself across to that right-hand side dance, didn't he? But Harry Maguire let O'Connell have that opportunity there. Just dropped off him, and he's got a lovely left foot. Very good strike from him.
United coming forward again, but Fernandes is dispossessed. It's rolled back to the edge of the area, and Josh Earl. Lofthouse now picks it up, the right wing back, not long on as a substitute. That's an awful lot of Josh Earl with that pass back, and Garnacho got a strong foot in. And Garnacho has it again, level with the penalty area, left hand side, just lays it off to Collier. Now Christian Eriksen in the centre of the Barnsley half, scheming away, plays a little short pass into the feet of Bruno Fernandes, laid off to Casemiro into the area. Anthony tried a snap shot as the ball broke to him, blocked away off the back of a Barnsley player. Comes back to Eriksen. Eriksen will play it across to Bruno Fernandes, lets the ball run across his body, tried a little reverse pass through the legs of the Barnsley defence to get Zirkzee away, but it's cleared downfield, and Bayindir will look for Johnny Evans. Sporting 2-0 up on 10-man Lille. Angel Gomez sent off for Lille, and Zeno De Bast gets the second goal for Sporting. Barnsley work the ball back to Slonina, their on loan keeper. Earl turns it round the corner to Corey O'Keefe, and quickly closed down by Anthony. And that's fair play to Manchester United. They're still hunting the ball and pressing high, and they've won the ball back just over halfway with Johnny Evans into the feet of Bruno Fernandes. Casemiro lets it run, tries to get it back from Anthony. Casemiro goes down, and this time Gavin Ward says no penalty to Manchester United.
No, it would have been a little harsh, that dance, I have to say. Maybe, look, bigger decision might have had to come if it was 0-0, but not in this situation.
Well, here's Humphreys coming forward for Barnsley. Goes down at the edge of the area, clipped. Oh, it's actually simulation. He dived as he went past Toby Collier, trying to get a free kick for his team, but instead got himself a yellow card off Gavin Ward. 5-0 to Manchester United.
I don't think he intentionally went to ground dance. I think he was just a little clumsy with his feet. You could see he tried a little step over to work the ball onto his left foot, Humphreys there, and he just gets a little messed up. Yes, there's contact in the end from Collier at the edge of the 18-yard box, but I think that came from Humphreys himself, just messing his 2 feet up. Couldn't really work himself out. There's the penalty decision just in front of us there now. I think that would have been really harsh, I have to say. Casemiro does get goal side, but there's not enough in that one for me.
Joshua wasn't doing a great deal physically to send Casemiro to ground. AC Milan 1, Liverpool 3 over on Talksport. Dominic Szoboszlai gets Liverpool further clear. That's a good reaction for Liverpool after what happened at the weekend in the Premier League. And here's the scoreline. Real Madrid 1, Stuttgart 1. Dennis Undav wants a Brighton. Gets Stuttgart level at the revamped Bernabeu. 1-1 in that Champions League tie. Remember, Milan-Liverpool live on Talksport right now with Jim Proudfoot and Scott Minto, your commentary team. And your reaction to all of tonight's action on the Sports Bar at Talksport from around 10 o'clock with Jason Cundy and Jermaine Pennant, former Liverpool winger. And they have gone to penalties at the Bet365 between Stoke City and Fleetwood Town. So Championship against League 2 in the Carabao Cup has gone to spot kicks. Premier League against League 1 here at Old Trafford, going firmly the way of Premier League. As the assistant on this near side falls over and we get a nice wahey moment for the United. They're so cruel but possible sometimes.
Horrible, aren't they? Horrible.
Mind you, I'm chuckling. Well, no, I'm no better. Adam Phillips for Barnsley. Just over a quarter of an hour to go. Can Barnsley give their 6,500 travelling supporters something to cheer in these remaining minutes and deprive Altay Bayindir? In fact, they've just pretended they've scored a goal just to give themselves something to do. And Harry Kane has another for Bayern Munich. 6-2. They lead Dinamo Zagreb at the Allianz Arena. 4 on the night for the England captain. Here is Casemiro for United, finding Fernandes in the centre circle. Barnsley win it back though. O'Connell trying to play it through the legs of Casemiro. Lovely quick feet from Mazraoui, releasing Anthony down the right hand side of the box. Few red shirts coming to join him in the area. Anthony went for goal himself, blocked by the chest of the goalkeeper, and Earl clears his lines, and Barnsley will get it downfield. And now Humphreys is away down the left-hand side. Maguire getting goal side. Cosgrove up with Humphreys as he gets to the left-hand corner of the box, but he can't get past Maguire, who just stayed on his feet and calmly cleared away with his right foot.
Well, it's good defending, isn't it, from Harry Maguire in a 1v1 situation. But he does find himself having to track back and get goal side, and uses his big frame just to get his body in the way and just pokes out that right leg just to win the ball back in. There's another player, isn't it, who's on the kind of the fringes, if you like, dance with all the centre-halves that Manchester United seem to be bringing in the summer, and Martinez coming back and being 100% fit. He's gone down the pecking order a little bit, but being professional like he always is, he's put in a really solid performance.
I think De Ligt is going to come on, might replace Maguire actually at this point, because Matthias De Ligt has just taken his training kit off. He could be coming on very shortly for Manchester United, who lead 5-0, 75 minutes gone on Talksport 2. Eriksson finds the club captain Bruno Fernandes. Now Mazraoui. Zirkzee picks it at right hand corner of the box. Lovely ball back into the box from Fernandes. Mazraoui, unselfish, tried to tee up a teammate at the edge of the box with a pullback, but it was cleared away. Lofthouse goes down on this near side and ends up giving up a throw to United. The attentions of Casemiro and Garnacho put him off. Here is Matthias De Ligt to score the opener at St Mary's on Talksport on Saturday lunchtime. Don't forget game day coming up this week as well. They'll load more brilliant games for you. West Ham versus Chelsea It's our lunchtime game on Talksport. Reshmin Chowdhury, Sam Matterface and Dean Ashton at the London Stadium. Then around the grounds with Adrian from 2:30. Our game is Tottenham-Brentford here on Talksport 2 at 3 o'clock with me and Perry Groves. Actually, and you're at Sunderland-Middlesbrough, aren't you? Saturday lunchtime on Talksport 2.
I certainly am.
The Weir Tees Derby at the Stadium of Light. Faker Others and Adam Bridge along with Mickey bring you that one. Yeah, and Perry's with me at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, probably wearing his comedy nose and glasses so he can get in safely. Like when you go to Newcastle, right?
I get in there 4 hours before kick-off.
Here comes the change for Manchester United, and Johnny Evans is actually making way for Matthias de Ligt. And there's another great club servant for Manchester United in Johnny Evans making way for de Ligt. So the 36-year-old goes off and the 25-year-old comes on. Played with manager Erik ten Hag when he was in charge at Ajax as well.
He's had a bright start, hasn't he, in a Manchester United shirt, getting himself on the score sheet. The position certainly where United have struggled over the last couple of seasons from set pieces. I don't think they scored too many goals, but he was in the right place at the right time, wasn't he, from that cross at the weekend. And that might be a partnership that we might see throughout the season, Dance, because they do get a lot of injuries, Manchester United, and Harry Maguire and de Ligt alongside each other.
Zirkzee for Manchester United at 5-0 up, 12 minutes to go. Finds Mazraoui, but he's crowded out by a couple of Barnsley players. Now here's Craig looking for Luca Connell, lays it off, looking for Earl, but home side win it back. Zirkzee up to the edge of the area, gets the ball on his left and shot across the goal, sort of cut across it with his left foot, and it was always going well wide.
I think he got it wrong, Dance, didn't he? Yeah, he just lifted his head up at the wrong time and it scuffed off the outside of his left foot rather than trying to curl it into that top corner. But apart from that opportunity, the last 6-7 minutes, man, they're trying to score the perfect goal, if you like. No, the little intricate passes around the edge of the 18-yard box instead of somebody just saying, right, I've got my defender in front of me, just give me half a yard and get me shot away. You've got to be ruthless. It sounds cruel. It's 5-0 at the moment, but could it be 6, could it be 7, could it even be 8-0? Because the quality they've got out there in the front positions, Manchester United, they should be doing better with the opportunities they're creating for themselves.
Zirkzee again on halfway, loses out. And here's Lofthouse for the visitors in the centre circle. Drifts away from Eriksson. Poor pass though. It's actually well retrieved for Barnsley on that left-hand side by Corey O'Keefe, who's drifted into the centre circle now. Everton Southampton has gone to penalties in the League Cup at Goodison Park after a 1-1 scoreline. Doucouré for Everton, Harwood Bellis with the equaliser for Southampton. So that's gone to spot kicks. Meantime, ball played in field for Matthew Craig. Oh my word, Harry Kane's got a 5th. Bayern Munich 7, Dinamo Zagreb 2. Now Garnacho, remember he's on a hat-trick here for the hosts with 10 minutes to go. Slips it down the left-hand side of the box for Bruno Fernandes. Across the face of goal, and Eriksson tucks it home, running across the goalkeeper in at the near post. Cultured finish from Christian Eriksen to make it 6 of the best for Manchester United as they edge towards the scoreline they got against Barnsley last time the Tykes were here in the Premier League. 10 minutes to go. It is Manchester United 6, Barnsley 0.
What a finish, what a move, and what a performance that player's put in tonight. Christian Eriksen, we've not really talked about him too much tonight, but 2 wonderful through balls for Manchester United to create goal opportunities and goals for them tonight. Well, he's made that run late on in the game, he's not picked up, and he's not going to miss from there. Bruno Fernandes does really well, keeps his composure, just plays it across the 6-yard area. And all Eriksen's got to do is make contact with it and stick the ball in the back of the net. But I think he's played absolutely fantastic tonight. Christian Eriksen deserves that goal.
Only scored 1 goal last season, and that was in August of last year, so it's been quite a wait for the Dane. But he has goal number 6.
He's a player, Dan. When you see the midfield players that are coming in at Manchester United and him not starting the season, I thought the writing was on the wall for Christian Eriksen, I really did, but full credit to him. He plays at the weekend, does very well, and he's come in tonight and he's performed excellent.
Clearance somewhat uncertainly from the punch by Slonina. United trying to win it back. Zirkzee going in strongly, but there will be a free kick as Zirkzee was going in too strongly on Conor McCarthy. We'll keep you updated with those penalty shootouts at Everton and at Stoke. I know the Stoke penalties are underway. Amad Diallo's about to come on for Manchester United, who had a terrific loan spell up at your old gaff Sunderland, didn't he, a couple of years ago?
He taught him everything he knows, Dan.
Of course you did.
Yeah, he was brilliant up there, he really was.
You were torn. You didn't want to let him go, but you're happy to see him develop his career here.
There was talk about maybe even going back, but there was always going to be that pressure of him getting into Manchester United starting 11 and putting pressure on Anthony and Garnacho over on that right-hand side, and he's certainly done it. He's been excellent this season, hasn't he?
Well, he's been starting in the Premier League, let's not forget, which is always a good sign after pre-season if you're starting games early in the campaign. And he'll be on in a moment, but meantime Zirkzee barges into Josh Earl, and he's won a corner, has he, for United? No, it's been given as a goal kick, and that will allow the change to be made. And Garnacho won't have his hat-trick. Should have had a hat-trick, frankly, with a big chance he had midway through this half, but that's a good performance from the young Argentine, and he makes way for Amad Diallo for another Manchester United change. Mickey Gray.
Well, they've been crying out, haven't they, for Alejandro Garnacho to start in the starting 11 for Manchester United, and he's proved everybody right tonight why he should be out there. He was clinical in front of goal, should have maybe had more, but I think his overall performance has been absolutely outstanding. And just having a word in his ear there, Erik ten Hag, I think he's really pleased with what he's seen from him tonight. Big smile on his face, an excellent performance.
So Amad Diallo, 22 years of age, 14 goals on Wearside for Sunderland last season, scored against Brighton in that 2-1 defeat. He's on. Here's Zirkzee, and it's fine for Eriksen. Eriksen makes it 7, and Manchester United match the total they got against Barnsley last time the Tykes were here in the Premier League. Christian Eriksen suddenly finds himself on a hat-trick with 6 minutes to go, sweeping the ball home with total authority from the edge of the area to make it Manchester United 7, Barnsley 0.
Not that he needs to prove to everybody that when he gets into that 18-yard box, Christian Eriksen, he's clinical. We see it when he wears a Danish shirt. We saw it in the summer, the quality that he's got, and he just finds a little pocket, doesn't he? Great play again, winning the ball up high, which will please Erik ten Hag, but when they do, they're clinical, Man United. The little flick around the corner, the give and go, simple little pass into Christian Eriksen, and a wonderful finish.
Well, he only made his first start of the season in the game against Southampton, Christian Eriksen, and you could argue he's giving Erik ten Hag his bigger selection poser than anybody out there in a red shirt ahead of the game against Palace at the weekend.
He is, Dan, and one thing about him, you look at the midfielders that Manchester United have got, there's not really one where you think he's got that killer pass. Christian Eriksen's got that. He's something a little bit different, and if they can keep him fit, look, I know he can't play every single week with his age, etc., but
Loftus, meantime, for Barnsley, gets to the byline, pulls it back. There's nobody there that he can find in a Barnsley shirt. United clear, but Anthony won't keep it in play on the far side. Sheffield Wednesday have beaten Blackpool, so Championship knocking out League One. That early goal for Wednesday at Bloomfield Road seeing them through. Brentford through 3-1 against Leyton Orient, and remember Leyton Orient did go 1-0 up. And Preston Fulham has gone to penalties as well in the Carabao Cup at Deepdale. Preston had the lead, Reece Nelson equalising for Fulham. Real Madrid have gone 2-1 up late on in the Champions League against Stuttgart. Antonio Rudiger makes it Real Madrid 2, Stuttgart 1. Ball is with Manchester United midway point of their own half. Casemiro plays it to his left, and Harry Maguire Maguire trots up to halfway, gives it back to the Brazilian Casemiro, spots the run of Amad Diallo, who's got it down the left-hand side. Heavy first touch, but he can keep the ball in play at the dead ball line. Knocks it infield to Eriksson, gives it back to Amad. Now infield to Casemiro. Just opens up a little bit for Casemiro. You half thought about a shot there, I reckon, but it goes back out to this near side, the United left, and Amad Diallo. Maguire finds De Ligt. Barely had a kick, De Ligt, since he's come on. Now he hits a delightful diagonal ball out to this left-hand side, and Amad Diallo running at the defender, going past him to the byline, puts his foot on the ball, keeps hold of it, finds Collier, left-hand corner of the box, infield to Bruno Fernandes, along the deck, trying to play a 1-2. Anthony at the edge of the box, shot is weak, he was falling to the ground as he got the shot away, and Barnsley will clear as United were trying to walk the ball into the net for a number 8.
Yeah, too many times they've done that, but they've earned that right, Dance, because they're in a position, a really strong position now, to go and express themselves, enjoy the football, which they certainly have tonight. But he just was never set, Anthony, was he? He's weaker right foot, lovely move building up to it, but one more pass, I think that's what it needed there, to give it to one of his teammates.
I think Stoke have knocked out Fleetwood on penalties. Fairly sure that's the case. We're waiting for penalties at Preston and Everton to finish, as Barnsley come down the left-hand side, but De Ligt tidies up, finds Maguire, and Manchester United have got a couple of minutes plus added time to see if they can find goal number 8 against beleaguered Barnsley. And Zirkzee making a run off the back of McCarthy, just couldn't take the ball in his stride as it was clipped over the head. Oh, poor clearance from Lofthouse, straight to Diallo. Now Fernandes at the edge of the D, urged to shoot, but he lays it into Anthony. Anthony, another weak shot from him, straight at the goalkeeper's gloves, and it stays at 7-0.
He's got his goal from the penalty spot. I think other than that, his opportunities haven't really tested the goalkeeper too many times. I remember that little curler from the corner of the 18-yard box, which would have been a worldy goal from Anthony. But I think he's played very well tonight, Dance, considering he's not played, the pressure and the scrutiny that's been on him. You know, is he going to play, is he not going to play, has he got a future at Manchester United? He's showed an attitude tonight where you would think, I can use him in future, and I think that'll be really pleasing to Erik ten Hag.
Collier finds Amad on halfway. The pressure from Lofthouse just lays it back to De Ligt. Casemiro back for Mazraoui. Again, Casemiro turning it around the corner, neatly done with Bruno Fernandes, and now Bruno looks to release Zirkzee through the middle. Power from Joshua Zirkzee, being held up for a moment, gets the shot on the turn. Good save by Slonina, right on his goal line. Zirkzee was running out of room at the left-hand corner of the 6-yard box, but a lovely spin and shot, well dealt with by the Barnsley keeper. 7-0.
Clever play, isn't it, from Zirkzee? I mean, he's a man mountain, isn't he? He's got to use that strength, and he certainly does there to shrug off his marker. And I love that instinct, not even knowing where the goal is. You've got your back to play, that little half volley strike. Very good save, but good movement again from United.
Just moving into 3 minutes of minimum additional time here at Old Trafford live on Talksport 2. It's my first look at Joshua Zirkzee live, and he is a more imposing physical specimen than I'd worked out for. Now Amad Diallo running through the centre of the pitch, but Lofthouse sticks a right boot in and gets it half clear, and then there's a foul on De Gevigny, which gives a free kick to Barnsley. They're still taking penalties at Goodison Park. I think it's 5-5 on pens at the minute between Everton and Southampton, and the Preston-Fulham penalties are underway at Deepdale as well. Stoke went through on penalties by 2-1. A lot of missed penalties in that shootout at the Bet365, but the Potters are through. Free kick for Barnsley, smacked downfield by the goalkeeper Slonina. And Southampton are through, 6-5 on penalties. James Bree with the all-important winning spot kick for Southampton. So Everton's season, another season without winning the League Cup. Can you believe a club the size of Everton have never won the League Cup, and they're out of the competition again?
Incredible. I mean, it's not been the best of starts for Everton anyway, hasn't it? I mean, fallen from behind after a 2-goal deficit the last couple of weeks as well, Dance. They just need to get on the board, don't they? They need a win from somewhere, and Sean Dyche will believe it's going to happen soon.
And that's the first win of the season for Southampton. They need a Premier League win, but they'll take a win on penalties. 03717 22 33 44. Everton fans listening to this might want to react to Jason Cundy and Jermaine Pennant about how Everton performed tonight in their cup tie against Southampton, but once again the League Cup eludes the Toffees. United in possession here. We're into the final minute of minimum stoppage time. Mazraoui up to the halfway line, gets it back from Anthony. Barnsley just tigerishly trying to win the ball back. They've not shrunk into their shirts, Barnsley. They've still been fighting for the loose balls. And now it's all getting a bit unseemly with Corey O'Keefe on that far side with Anthony, who are both exchanging words. And the referee has got out his yellow card, I think, there. I think it was Corey O'Keefe who's talked himself into a booking. Indeed it was. So a free kick to Manchester United inside their own half. And they're just working it back to Bayindir, who does look set to keep a clean sheet on his home debut. Only had one nervous moment when that Luke O'Connell shot flashed past him into the side netting earlier in the second half. One last chance maybe for United. No, the ball's in the referee's control, and the referee blows the whistle, and Manchester United match the scoreline that they put past Barnsley the last time the Tykes were here in that 97-98 Premier League season. 7-0 the final score. Back-to-back wins for Erik ten Hag, and a very, very comfortable night. Both Marcus Rashford and Alejandro Garnacho and Christian Eriksen got themselves a brace apiece. Good work for them. The other goal went to Anthony from the penalty spot in the first half. Barnsley will go back to their League One campaign to try and get themselves back in contention for a playoff place in the early weeks of the season. But a good day at the office all round for Manchester United, Mickey Gray.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's very hard to criticise Man United. I thought it was a professional performance. They got the job done, and you could always see they were just searching for that first goal, and when it did come, the floodgates were going to open, and they were clinical when they needed to be. And you feel for Barnsley, they didn't deserve to lose this game by 7 goals. We just looking to our right hand side, Dan, not really mentioned them too many times, have we? But 6,500 fans yeah, who've come to Old Trafford. They'll have memories from this. They won't forget this occasion. It's been brilliant. You can hear them still chanting away. The players are going across to applaud them and thank them for their support. But it's memories for the players as well. The shirts will be exchanged, I'm sure of that. And it's something that they'll take throughout the whole of their career. Look, I played at Old Trafford. I played against Manchester United. I played against Bruno Fernandes, Garnacho, etc, etc, etc. And Darryl will have a look at these players and think, look, you haven't let anybody down. It's been a really solid performance. I'm just disappointed and frustrated as you are that you've conceded 7 goals. But Erik ten Hag, I think he comes off this field, back-to-back wins now, the confidence flowing, not through the first 11 at the weekend, but also through his squad. Fringe players getting an opportunity. I think it's been a really good night for Manchester United.
United have scored 7. Bayern Munich have just scored a 9th against Dinamo Zagreb. 9-2 the score. Leon Goretzka getting the 9th goal. Leroy Sané got on the score sheet. Harry Kane with 4, 3 of them from the penalty spot, I should add. Guerrero and Olise also scoring on a really high-profile night in the Champions League for Bayern Munich. Villa won earlier. Liverpool winning in Milan by 3-1. But which of the United players, just finally on them, Mickey Gray, which of the United players, particularly tonight, who came in from the side that played against Southampton, will be thinking, right, I've done enough for the manager to pick me against Palace at the weekend?
Well, it's very difficult to change your starting 11, isn't it, Dan, depending whether you've got injuries or not from the performance against Southampton. But I think it was a big performance for Casemiro after what happened when he played against Liverpool for 45 minutes. He needed that game time, he needed to forget about that, and he's certainly done that tonight. Anthony, for me, I think that was a huge performance moving forward for Erik ten Hag. He can now start to talk positively about him because he's not really had the opportunity up until this evening. There wasn't anybody out there who let anybody down. I think the goalkeeper was great. Bayinda, I have to say, he didn't really have a lot to do, but when called upon, he never let anybody down. A clean sheet for him as well. But the forward players, for me, I think it's excellent that all three of them have got themselves on the score sheet. Standout performer for me, I don't know if we are picking a man of the match, but Christian Eriksen I thought was absolutely outstanding tonight.
He was terrific on his second successive start in League and Cup. So the full-time scores in the Carabao Cup: Stoke 1, Fleetwood 1 after full-time, but in the penalty shootout Stoke prevailed 2-1 in the end. Sheffield Wednesday winning by a goal to nil at Blackpool. Brentford 3, Leyton Orient 1. Red card for Leyton Orient in the second half. They were a goal up the O's, but Brentford, the Premier League side, comfortably through. Everton 1, Southampton 1 at Goodison Park. That went straight to penalties after 90 minutes, and Southampton won that penalty shootout by 6-5. Preston and Fulham are still taking penalties at the moment. I think it's 7-6. Emile Smith-Rowe has scored the latest goal for Fulham in that shootout. That finished 1-1 after 90 minutes at Deepdale. QPR 1, Crystal Palace 2. A terrific individual goal from Eberechi Eze won the game for Palace to send them through. Here at Old Trafford, as you've been hearing live on Talksport 2, Manchester United 7, Barnsley 0. In the Champions League tonight, Juventus beat PSV 3-1 in the early game, and live on Talksport 2, Villa won 3-0 at Young Boys in their first game back in the Premier Club competition of European football. Liverpool still winning 3-1 in Milan. That's not quite finished full-time yet over on Talksport. That is full-time at the Allianz Arena. The Bayern Munich 9, Dinamo Zagreb 2. Real Madrid in stoppage time 3-1 up against VfB Stuttgart. Mbappe, Rudiger and Endrick with the 3 goals against Stuttgart. And Sporting have beaten Lille by 2-0. Gyökeres amongst the goals for Sporting. Just some final reflections then. Mickey Gray, the Barnsley fans just making their way out at the southeast corner. In some respects they'll have enjoyed their night. They don't often get to come to a stadium like this.
Yeah.
I wonder how they'll feel as they head home.
Well, they shouldn't get themselves down. I think, they've came to Old Trafford. They've obviously tried to perform against, a top side in the Premier League, and I think they can come off this football pitch, albeit lost 7-0. They can be proud of themselves. I think the manager will be proud of them in that dressing room. Supporters have been absolutely top class. That's why I love cup competitions, because you can bring them more supporters. 6,500 have travelled to Manchester United. They won't forget it. The players won't forget it. You've just got to take that impetus now. I know losing the game tonight, but take it into their league form and try and start to climb up that League One and give themselves a chance come the end of the season. But I think it's been a really good night, not just for them, but also for Manchester United.
Don't forget, United fans, the phone lines are open now over on Talksport to speak to Jason Cundy and Jermaine Pennant on the Sports Bar. How impressed were you with some of those players coming in tonight? Has Anthony done enough to get back into the manager's good books? Casemiro, Eriksen, Rashford with 2 goals. How badly he needs that at this stage of his career. 03717 223344 will get you through to Jermaine Pennant alongside Jason Cundy on the Sports Bar, which is over on Talksport next. I'll be back tomorrow night here on Talksport 2 with the Coventry Building Society Arena alongside Dean Ashton. Coventry City against Tottenham Hotspur is our 8 o'clock kickoff in the Carabao Cup. But the final score here at the Theatre of Dreams that is rapidly emptying, with most fans going home very, very happy with what they've seen. With our thanks to Mickey Gray, who's been with us tonight. It finished Manchester United 7, Barnsley 0.